Yeah. They talk, we testify. They scroll, we sanctify. They bait for clicks, I build for freedom. They pander to crowds, I speak to the kingdom. This ain't gossip, this gospel. Ain't a brand, it's a mantle. This ain't performance, it's posture. Anointing over algorithm, I'm not like them imposters. I don't do fake deep, I break yokes. I don't chase viral, I chase hope. I ain't got trends, I got truth. I ain't running from culture, I bring the proof. Wide open, we build different. Cut from cloth, they don't even stitch with. Say it raw, say it real, say it righteous. Say the name Yeshua like we not lifeless. Yeah.
Wide open, we don't do safe. We don't bow down, we don't placate. We lay hands and we lay lines. This ain't rap, this redemption in rhyme.
On 10. What's up, everybody? We made it, we made it, we made it, we made it, we made it.
What?
We made it, we made it, we made it, we made it, we made it. We made it, we made it, we made it, we made it, we made it. We waited, we waited, we waited, we waited, we waited. We waited, we waited, we waited, we waited, we waited. But now we made it, 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 we made it. We made it, everybody. It's Friday. Or should I say Friday?
Friday.
It's 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 Friday.
Yo, we made it to Friday.
Friday.
Yo, we made it to Friday.
Friday. It's my day.
It's
Friday. It's my day.
Yeah.
Friday. High day.
Hey.
Friday. High day. Friday. No weed. No weed.
Nope.
No sticky mustard seeds.
No
weed.
No.
No weed.
No.
No sticky mustard seeds unless that mustard seed
mustard
is what
seed.
Mike talking about.
Talking
If it's
about.
that mustard, then I'm all about.
I'm all about.
Put your hands in the air.
Put your hands up.
Wave them like you don't care.
Put your hands up.
Wave them like you don't swear.
Hey, 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 hey.
Just say, oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All the way from here to there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All the way from here to there. I said it's a party.
It's a party.
On Friday. Hey.
It's Friday.
It's a party. Hey. Hey. On Friday. On Friday. Hey. Hey. Get it holy. Go holy. Get it holy. Go holy. Teach your baby to dance. Get it in.
Hooli is amazing right now. No, mine not like.
Listen.
Oh, yo.
When Hooli put that bottom lip
she was
out,
like- she
she
was
like, I'm in there. Don't try to come get me. I'm already in here though.
Hooli was on that.
Yeah, she in there. If she was standing up, that baby coming out. Only thing Hooli can do now is chair dance, so she gonna induce labor early. It's hilarious. Hey, I love y'all. It is 9:03, 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock, what?
It's
What? Wow. Pod's over.
All right, it's over.
All right.
Bye,
y'all. We love you.
Hit the music.
We love you guys. See you Monday.
Mañana. No.
We're gonna-
No, it's
No.
Oh,
Wednesday.
what?
Wednesday.
See you Wednesday. Ah, Dios mío.
Ay, Dios mío.
Ah, yeah. McCowan.
Miércoles.
McCowan.
McCowan na.
En mi findi. McCowan en mi semana. Yes.
Is-
I poop on it.
I've never heard that.
Sí. España.
España, okay.
Yeah.
Es de España.
Okay.
Soy España. Soy español. Españolo.
Español, ajá.
Soy españolo.
Ajá.
Para mi maestra
Sí.
es de
Sí.
España y Andorra.
Sí.
Entonces-
Y parte colombiano.
Sí.
Con Camila.
Un poquito
Ajá.
colombiano
Ajá.
con
Camila.
Camila. Entonces, la próxima semana
Sí.
yo tengo clase con
Sí.
Camila.
Ay, ay.
Otra vez. Sí. All right, y'all. It's 9:04. Roll call. What y'all doing? Where you at? What y'all do?
Where's
Already
WhatsApp?
300 people in the chat. What's up? That's what I'm talking about. I love you, handsome boy. I see you. Oh, I saw him in the camera. Puerto Rican say me cago.
Me cago. Yeah.
Yeah, me cago.
Me cago en nada is what the family says.
Sí,
Yeah,
sí,
me
sí.
cago en nada.
Yeah, sí.
It's like, I'm like, I just know to go the opposite way when they say that when I was a kid.
All right, Chico Cali, Las Vegas, South San Diego, Savannah, South Africa, Jeffreys Bay. What's up, Melodine? We love you. Williamsburg, Tampa, Ponderay,
Colorado, Columbia, Auburn, Cedar Rapids, Latham, Queens, Conway, Rancho Cordova, St. Martin, Inglewood, Gainesville, Jess, Allen, Dixon, ooh, it's popping, Hobbs, Victorville, Buffalo, Abuja, Nigeria, Peoria, Arizona, Bullhead City, Pasadena, Texas, San Antonio, Baltimore, Anaheim, Cali, Columbia, South Carolina, Colorado Springs, Bismarck, North Dakota, Corpitos,
Corpito.
Adelaide, South Australia. What's up, Mark?
Hey.
Adelaide, South Australia. That's the very first place I ever went to go preach was in Adelaide.
Aw.
South Australia, man. That's my place. They got some of the best Italian food you'll ever eat.
Really?
What? I think outside of Italy, the most Italians are in Adelaide.
Wow.
I didn't know that.
That's no cap.
No.
Arlington, Texas will be in Denver the next 7 days. Might miss a few days. No worry, Matt. No worry, Matt. Wes. We know you down for the cause, homie. And you got a well-deserved break, bro. You be in everybody's backyard. Lagos, Fuquay, Varina, Bolingbrook, Illinois, Varina, Salina, Pawtucket, Rhode Island, Pasadena, Richmond, Pacoima, Inwood, Iowa, Apex, Poland, Bloomington, Louisville, Flowood, Mississippi. Come on, Flowood. Let's see, Garland, Texas. Aaron and Creben with our fiancés in London today. Let's go. Y'all go ahead and get married. Reno, Nevada, New Orleans, Stockton, California. Yeah, I saw you in Adelaide. January 2010?
Aww.
Mark, are you serious?
What?
What? What are you saying to me, bro? That's surreal. January 2010 is the first time I was ever there.
Oh, wow.
Bro saw me the first time I ever came to Australia.
That's crazy.
Man, Mark, are you kidding me right now? Wow. Yeah, I was at Paradise Church.
Do you remember what you preached?
Nope.
No.
But if he does, then I'll remember it. If he says, you preach on this, I'm going to be like, that's exactly what I preached on. Dublin, Ireland, Woodland, Washington, Mobay. Yeah, I know Mobay. You write Mobay, you are Jamaican through and through. That's all you got to write is Mobay, and I'm with you already. Ottawa, Canada, Chicago, Kennewick. Shout out to 440 people in the live chat.
Ooh,
If you in here, like that thing.
Like that thing, man.
like that thing.
Jacksonville. Yep. Influencers Conference with John Bevere. Absolutely. Bro, Mark is authentic. That he just validated. Because I said the name of the actual church at the time. They've changed the name like 2 more times. But it was Paradise, but it was the Influencers Conference.
Oh.
And John, I was sitting right next to John and Lisa.
Ah.
Too easy. Small
That must have
world.
been a banger conference.
It was a great
I can
conference.
imagine.
It was a great conference. Wilmington, Delaware, Guyana. Hey, Mark, you got a special place in my heart, homeboy. And so does Adelaide, forever and ever. Like forever and ever. Frisco, Colorado. I didn't know there was a Frisco, Colorado.
Well, looky.
Beijing. Tierra. Dublin, California. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Okay. Yay. Roll call checked in. You should be checked in by now. We love you. So grateful that you're here. Lieshan. Who's hyped about today? I'm hyped about today.
Me. It's gonna be a good day.
I'm getting some reward tonight.
Yeah? Yeah,
somewhere.
you are.
And so I'm going to go over there and get it.
Some award.
Yeah, I'm going to go get some award because they told me I won it. So I'm going to go get it.
Congratulations.
I'm going to drive down there and scoop that thing.
Scoop that thing, homie.
Yeah, I'm going to go down there and scoop that thing and then come back. Saturday, I'll be in Atlanta. Yes. Next Level Speakers Conference.
Yes.
If you haven't registered and you're anywhere in the Atlanta area, you might as well come through. I might as well tell everybody where I'm going to be for the next few days. So Saturday, I'll be in Atlanta. If you're in Atlanta, pull up. Next Level Speakers Conference. Go find the information.
We got it. We got it. It's out there.
Sunday, I'll be in Raleigh, North Carolina at the Raleigh Improv. If you like to laugh and you're not easily offended, you should come pull up on Sunday if you're in that Raleigh area. Monday, I'm going to be in New York with my friends Chris and Jairus Dursos. And yeah, you should pull up in New York if you live in the New York area.
Fire.
On Monday. And then on Thursday, I'll be in Phoenix, Arizona at the Phoenix Improv. And if you live anywhere in the Arizona area and you like to laugh, and again, I say you're not easily offended, then you should come to laugh as well. Me and my friend Jamie have a great show. Jamie and I are two different people. This is a Jewish man who was atheist, who gave his life to Yeshua, and obviously I'm a Gentile from the hood who gave his life to Yeshua. And for some reason, God put us together, and we get to go make some people laugh, and probably make some people squirm as well. But you know what I'm saying. But y'all was at the show when we did it in Dallas.
My cheeks were hurting from laughing so hard. And Caleb, it takes a lot for Caleb to laugh really hard, and he was dying.
Was he really?
Oh yeah, he was dying.
That makes me happy.
Yeah.
I like to make people who don't laugh.
Yeah.
You just catch them because they're surprised.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
They're usually surprised by how much they laugh. Oh, that's so good to me. Okay. Anyway, ooh, that watermelon looks good.
You want some?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. I got some.
That window.
Yep,
Yeah, I got a window.
Yep.
I got a window to the wall.
To the wall.
To this food gets on my plate. Sorry.
No food up in my jaw.
From the window to the wall. Till I get these food up in my jaws. Till all these jokers fall.
Nope.
To all the choo 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 choo. All choo choo doggone. All choo 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 choo. All the choo choo doggone. That's actually very funny.
I love that song.
I like that remix. From the microwave to my jaws. To these food slide down my walls. To all these jokers fall. To all choo 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 doggone. To all choo choo all gone. I think it's the upgrade to there's a party in my tummy. I think somebody should do that. Nobody remembers there's a party in my tummy?
There's a party in my tummy.
So yummy, so yummy. There's a party in my tummy. So yummy, so yummy. Yeah, that was the Yo Gabba Gabba.
Yo Gabba Gabba.
Yo Gabba Gabba. My kids was
DJ
on.
Lance.
Yep. They was on Yo Gabba Gabba. DJ Lance wore like an orange spacesuit
He flipped it.
with a little I don't know, a little mushroom hat from Super Mario Brothers or something. It was something like that. Yo, I had a burrito yesterday because I had Muay Thai.
Yeah.
So my first meal was just my smoothie with the fruit and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, look at Lance Robertson. Hey, how old is bro?
That's a great question.
He looks like Delora.
Oh, he's 60 years old.
Oh. Good for him.
We don't crack at all, bro. Bro is 60 years old, dog. Yo. He was doing that show. Yo, he was doing that show in his 40s, fam.
Killing it.
45 years old, he was doing that show, fam.
Yo, Lexi loved that show.
You could have never met, dude. Oh my God,
everything
that's
about
how
that
I'm gonna
show
look
was
when I'm
fire.
60. My man just showed me my future. I'm shaving my whole beard off, just so y'all can see how young I really am.
Are you gonna grow out your hair like that too?
No,
No.
I'm not doing the sideburns.
The Willy Wonka.
Think about it real
If you
quick.
if
He's
you
like,
see if you see me with them sideburns, shoot me.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's a little
Okay.
with a Nerf gun.
Yeah, with Nerf gun.
See,
Okay.
that's what you gotta wait for.
There you go.
Just gotta wait for me to complete my
There you go.
sentence.
That's what it was.
I don't want to shoot you. Nerf gun. Okay. Die by Nerf. Okay, listen. I have a special treat for everybody today.
Yay.
my homegirl is coming on.
Whoop, whoop.
This month is men's mental health awareness month. And I take pride in that. See what I did there?
But
Did you see what I did there?
I did.
I didn't even know I was gonna do it until I did it. Yeah, it worked. And so we want there to be an awareness for men. And obviously we got men here in this space. They do their work, and I'm glad and I'm proud of the work you do. Yesterday, we only took 2 callers.
Yeah.
But they were both men.
Yeah.
And both dealing with very unique circumstances. And committed to not letting their ego or their pride get in the way of them reaching out to a man for advice and for help, for context, for clarity. So yeah, man, I
salute.
I'm super proud. And so anyway, my homegirl's here. Yeah, Dre and Trey. It was Dre and Trey day. Oh my gosh, she's so beautiful. I love my sissy so much. Captain Marvel is here, y'all. Dr. Captain Marvel is in the building. Ladies and gentlemen, Jenna Mountain is in the... She's in her building. I was about to say in the building. She's not in the building. She's in her building, and I'm so happy. What's up, sissy?
I'm not even in my building. I don't know if Derek has told you.
No?
I'm at the ranch today.
You're at the ranch with the horsies.
Yes.
What?
Yes, I'm at the ranch. That's why I've got like horse. Yeah, I don't know if you can really see the background, but like artwork. I'm in one of the counseling rooms at the ranch.
Oh, that is so
I'm at the
dope.
ranch today.
Oh my goodness, you're doing the equine therapy, correct?
Not really. So actually today is fun. I'll give you the full update.
Please.
So my youngest, my son, he's in equestrian camp all week.
Oh,
so
wow.
I've been coming out and working remotely to bring him out. So like they do half day camps for kids.
Okay.
All week. So today's his last day. So I've been working from here most of the week.
That's
and then
awesome.
actually, I know. It's really amazing. I'm a big fan of therapy, and these equine camps truly do so much for my kids.
Yep.
Like so much for my kids.
Yeah.
So yes, I'm a big fan of doing it in my work, but obviously I want to give my kids the same gift. So
For sure.
he's playing with the horses, and today's my anniversary.
Your wedding anniversary?
So, yes.
Oh my
yes.
God. Why would you even be on with me today?
Well, okay, so here's the thing. Everybody gets to choose how they do like life.
Of
My
course.
husband and I are not real big. Like we don't get hung up on like the day of. We have to take the whole day off
Right.
and disappear. Like we don't care if things are like on the day.
Right.
So yeah, but we're celebrating 17 years today.
Happy anniversary to you. Happy anniversary to you. Happy anniversary, dear Jenna and Blaine. Or Blaine and Jenna. Whichever way remix is, they're one, so it doesn't matter. Happy anniversary to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, it was just flat after that. Sissy, hey, hey, thank you for taking some time out of your schedule, being a wife and being a mommy, to just hang out with me and just talk all things therapy.
Oh man.
I didn't even, when we planned for this day, I did not know that this month was Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yep.
So,
In May that we just wrapped up was just like general mental health awareness. So,
wow.
Yes.
I like that they get specific. How specific are they? Are they going to be like grandparents' mental health awareness?
I mean,
month?
why not? We should.
I actually think I got some candidates. I got candidates. I have candidates for this.
Same.
Oh my goodness. I am. Yesterday was very, very sweet because, we have 2 hours to take as many calls as we can, but we take our time. There's no rush, anything like that. We only got through 2 calls, and it was 2 young men that called in. Actually, one was in his 40s, and their names rhymed. One was Dre, in his 40s, and the other was Trey in his 20s. Their situations couldn't have been any more antithetical than they were to each other. Yet their humility and their self-awareness and their desire for
Mm.
to understand themselves and to understand how to navigate the season of life that they found themselves in was like very endearing. And so can you just talk to the importance specifically to men
Yeah.
as to why it's so important for us to work on our mental health and to make it a
Oh,
priority?
yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't think I'll speak specifically to men, and I want to say I don't think what I'm going to say is unique to men. Um, we leave a whole part of our personhood out when we don't work on our mental health. I think about I think sometimes when we think about mental health, we think about like a certain, let me use like a technical term and then I'll define it. Like we
Mm-hmm.
think about a certain acuity.
Mm-hmm.
That's the word we use clinically, but it's like we think about a certain severity, and that's when we think about mental health.
Mm.
But the truth is, um, most of us, I really, and that includes me and mine, right? Like we did not get what we needed to fully develop that part of us. And so, and by that I mean like the skills, there's developmental processes, there's skills that we needed, permission to fully embrace and engage this part of us that is really integral to being able to fully connect with who we are. And so
Mm-hmm.
it's like a whole part of us is missing when we don't work on our mental health. So if we kind of put severity to the side, not saying that doesn't matter, but a lot of people think mental health doesn't apply to them because I'm not severe enough for that. And I'm
Mm.
going, hey, how costly is it that there's this whole part of you that you don't know how to connect with? And in fact, that part of you is a huge piece to connecting to all those other parts that you maybe are aware of to some degree. Like we're just missing out on a whole piece of who we are.
Mm-hmm.
Now, specifically for men, when we look at some of the huge systemic issues, and I know those can be spicy topics to touch on, I think that those systemic issues have even further perpetuated a lack of equipping
Mm-hmm.
and a lack of permission for men to fully engage with their mental health. And they don't even realize they're not flourishing
Mm.
because for men, when I think about how like toxic masculinity and some of these things have played out for them, but it's a really twisted lie because the lie is it's good for me. Yeah, I'm benefiting from this unhealth in some way,
Mm.
right? There's like
Mm.
lots of layers to the lie.
For
And
sure.
so it's the lie that you think helps you that you have to give up. And so it's really it's this like mind-boggling, confusing experience, which is why a lot of men won't buy in because
Wow.
like no 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 no, like this is what makes me strong, or this is what gets me what I want, or this is what, right? And so it is reinforcing your resistance to the thing that actually helps you the most. And so it's sad for men. It's very sad.
Wow. Okay. So I'm already nerding out. um,
Yeah,
I'm
right.
like completely nerding out. So let me bring up some of these narratives. Let's skeet shoot. Okay. I wanna I
Yeah,
wanna I wanna shoot some stuff in the air, and I just want you to shoot it. Okay.
yeah.
With your words, right? uh, so I didn't have a dad, and I'm glad I didn't have a dad because it made me work harder to make sure that uh, I could be the man that I am now.
Yeah. So what sticks out about the posture of that statement is you're looking at, hey, my hardship made me stronger. And so I'm a strong person because of what I had to go through. So you could put a lot of storylines on that.
Mhm.
The problem with how that narrative plays out is it has a morsel of truth and then it's gotten twisted on the execution. Okay.
Mm.
So the morsel of truth is there really is something called post traumatic growth. Right.
Yep.
So, this idea of I can come out stronger with greater capacity and all these skills and this like learning on the other side of something hard
Yep.
that makes me a better person. That can be true. The problem is you do not get to healthy, adaptive, functional post traumatic growth until you do the healing. So they're using this post traumatic growth concept to defend not going and doing this healing
Ooh.
work. But you're really not doing that. And the imagery that I use when I work with people is, oh, okay. So, like, you're training with a weighted vest
Hmm.
and you're like, this makes me stronger. And I'm like, 100%, except for you're going into that football game with the weighted vest on. You got to take
Right.
that off to play the game at your full capacity to like run and hit and do all this stuff. But you're still, you never take the weighted vest off of the training, right? So you're
Wow.
really not accessing your greatest capacity.
Yep.
And it's probably making your game messy. So
Ooh.
you have to know what we're talking about, not talking about. So it can't be an excuse to not go do the work. And it really is hindering you. You
Yeah,
don't want
for
to go play a
sure.
football game with a weighted vest on? That sounds dumb.
It sounds very dumb. Yeah, it
It's not a good
sounds
idea.
not it sounds yeah, I agree. Okay, all right. So here's my next one. Um uh I don't really need to go to therapy because I know me.
I just don't think that could be possibly true for anybody. Like I have been doing this for like clinically over a decade, coaching for quite a few years now. I myself have been to therapy. I myself have been in coaching. I continue to have community around me. I do not think we can see past the end of our own nose in any given season for a lot of reasons that I have compassion for. This is not a judgment statement.
Yep.
I just think we would have to be God to be able to actually execute that statement, right? Like to be able to fully know thyself in this way that's like I never need feedback anymore. I just don't think that that reflects humanity, and we make mistakes. And then just knowing that like on this side of eternity I get dysregulated and I have moments of crisis
Yeah.
and things happen. I need someone to help put my feet on the ground and give me some feedback or hold space for me so I can get back to the place where I can, do some self reflection. So it's not that, here's what happens. I'll push on that statement and then we'll get into this logical fallacy battle
Mm,
on, oh, like, I'm not saying you can never see yourself. I'm just saying you can't see yourself at 100% and never need help.
right.
Right.
Exactly.
So like this false choice between all or nothing thinking.
Yeah.
Well, if you can't do it all the time, then it must not exist. So I'm not saying that. I'm not saying you can't ever self-reflect and get a lot out of it, but using it having a moment where you can do that, it's not a good reason to never go get
Right.
that help
Right.
for when
Right.
you do
Exactly.
need it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So yeah.
Um I tried it before and it didn't work.
Oh, so this one I have like compassion for. There's a lot of reasons in any given season that therapy wouldn't work.
Mhm.
Okay, or coaching wouldn't work. And I'll name my number one.
Okay.
You might have not been with the right person,
Mhm.
and they could have been a really terrible provider.
Right.
And I don't think we say that enough.
Yep.
Like, not all providers are created equal.
Correct.
And then let's say they were a good provider, it could have just been the wrong fit.
Mm.
And then, because that's true, like I'm not the fit for everyone. I can serve a lot of people. I'm very good at what I do, but like I'm still not the right fit for everyone.
Mhm.
And then sometimes it is not the right season and you need to go back and try again. There might have been readiness on your part.
Mhm.
And that little stint with the good, decent, great provider, I actually just made a post about this the other day, might have loosened the pickle jar.
Right.
I
That's
always
good.
talk about being the pickle jar therapist.
Nice.
Like,
Wow.
I don't get to be the one where like the jar pops in my office and we have this aha moment, but like I was a part of like loosening the pickle jar and then they went on to someone else. And like that's kind of a part of our experience as coaches and therapists is like we just don't always get to like see the pop
That's
happen in our
dope.
office. But yeah.
Yeah.
And that's probably true for a lot of helping professionals, right? I could say that for like pastors, mentors, therapists, coaches, like you're loosening the pickle jar and like
Yeah.
you played a role just because you didn't get that satisfying like pop,
Yeah.
in that moment with you. It
Yeah.
doesn't mean you did nothing and it doesn't mean you weren't effective. So
I'm never
for
going
the
to forget
person who
that as long as
had,
I live, Jenna. I will never forget that as long. That is one of the most
yeah.
simplistically profound analogies I've ever heard in my close to 50 years on the earth.
Yeah, because I think it's funny, all these posts are like what I don't buy into, what I'm not gonna get on board with. Like I don't. it is okay for mentors and therapists and coaches in their humanity to desire to see those moments and have the affirmation of the work,
Of
right? Like we have
course.
to have a healthy relationship with it, but like
Yep.
it's okay that we desire for that as long as it stays healthy. So, it's just an affirmation that some of us are just the pickle jar therapists.
Yeah,
Some
that's
of us are
so
just the pickle
good.
jar mentors. Like we're just loosening it up for the moment when it is that person's moment and someone else is going to get to bear witness to it. It's just not going to be me.
It, it
Um,
just takes humility to even have that mindset, though. It really does.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
really dope.
But
That's really
for your
dope.
original question, I want to come back and put a bow on that. I do tell people that finding the right therapist in any given season is a little bit like dating. You might have to like go and meet with a few people, and
Agreed.
like any healthy therapist or coach is going to be okay with that.
Yep. That's good. All right, I got one more, and then I want to talk about whatever you want to talk about,
Oh
and
gosh. Okay.
I want to know what you're doing. Um. Yeah. No, I can't go see Jenna. I'm a black dude, and that's a white woman, and like she's not gonna be able to relate to me. She ain't gonna be able to give me what I need. I need a black therapist.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I'm going to hold that with some open-handed compassion and respect. I to give you like the really straight laced up qualifications answer, which is like, hey, I've got skills that would still work.
Yep.
I think we have to I think we have to honor what makes someone feel safe. Right. And
Mm-hmm.
so if that is a safety issue for them, like their bodies are not going to be able to calm down with a white lady, then I would rather get them to the person that they're going to be able to do some work with because they can calm down with a white lady. I'm also going to be really respectful by the fact that I do not have a shared lived experience. And so there is going to be a breakdown in what I automatically know. Um, and that's fair. So honestly, I'm like that. There's a lot of fair concern there.
Yep.
There are um, there are some that is not a block for them.
Yep.
And so, and then I would say there's been some really sweet moments where my hope is always that I have a very respectful, kind, compassionate, non entitled, non centering on me as a white lady posture toward any of my clients that have a different cultural, ethnic discrimination um, experience that that becomes a space of healing because I am aware of my white ladiness and I am doing I
That's hilarious.
truly like doing my anti-oppression, anti-racist work on a regular basis and that that's just a piece of the puzzle that they need and that's probably one I'm more tender to going I'm going to go okay let me help you find someone who's going to be able to be a safer experience there. What's been fun for me in this recent season is I've been able to play the adjunctive therapist
Mm-hmm.
where kind of their home-based therapist serves that kind of like we have a shared collective experience like they are a therapist that has the same ethnicity and kind of cultural experience as them but I have this very specific trauma skill that would help them and so they come and do like a little sidestep with me for just like a little snippet and then I send them back and
Yep.
so that's been a really fun thing that I've been able to do to go hey I'm just here to serve in this like really specialized trauma thing that I do and I'm not claiming to be someone who can serve all of your needs in that way. So that one's a little bit more complex.
No, I love your answer and the sensitivity of it. From my standpoint as a client,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
um, when I hear people say that, I would be absolutely sensitive if there was a real safety issue,
Trigger.
a real
Yeah.
trigger. It seems
Yeah.
like the majority of the people that ask the question when I say, "Hey, definitely do the therapy," well, do you know any black ones? Because you know what I'm saying. I
Yeah.
don't think a white. I'm like, would you go into the ER and be like, I only need if there's not a black doctor in here, I just can't be seen. Like if it's
Yeah.
a safety issue, I'm cool. But the most people that I interact with, they use it as an excuse, like she's not going to be able to relate to me. Well, a black person might not be able to relate to you either, based on where they were born and raised. If
Yeah,
there's a
because that's
Cosby,
not
if
a
there's a
monolithic thing,
yeah, yeah.
right?
If Claire Huxtable is your therapist, she don't relate to you either. If you from the hood,
Yeah. Yeah. I think that so here's what's really interesting and kind of about where you're going there. And I can appreciate that. In fact, I just made a post. It was mostly about the gender side of things, where it was like, I get so exhausted when I get asked for like a referral for like like a male provider that does exactly what I do, because it's a
right,
man who won't see me as a woman.
right.
Um, and I'm like, I'm exhausted by this. And some of it's like, honestly, the answer is no. I can't name one for this very specific unicorn thing that they're looking for.
Yeah.
Um, and here's what's coming up for me. I want to be really careful about measuring things behaviorally,
Hmm.
because to your point, because you're talking about this, some people are using that as an excuse, and some people are really self-attuning to their needs.
Yeah, for
And so it's
sure.
not about
Absolutely.
this behavior is all this or all this.
Correct.
It's like, hey, we've got to get to some motivations
That's right.
underneath all of
That's
this.
exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly
Yeah.
right. To the gender thing, in my 20 now 7 years of being in therapy, I've had one man and three women
Yeah.
as my
Yeah.
therapists and
Well,
coaches.
it's a female dominated field.
Actually, it's actually two men and four women. It-
Yeah.
yeah, because
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
is the numbers say
Oh, yeah.
it's like going to a bank. There's going to be more female bankers than there are male bank tellers. You know,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. It's a female dominated field. And they're actually, it's very interesting to like get into some of the statistics of that. But I don't know if that's where we're going today.
Go there. I don't care.
It's interesting. It's a female dominated field. Um, in practice. And there's lots of different licenses. And so you'll see males gravitate toward the like higher, higher up on the food chain
Uh
licenses.
huh.
So you'll see, I think, the percentages of men climb when you get to psychologist, when you get
Mm,
to psychiatrist, so like medical doctors. So you'll see it climb. But what's really interesting is, and I haven't looked at the stats lately, so I'll put this disclaimer, but it was like practitioners, boots on the ground, people who are like in the therapy office, always pretty much been a female dominated field since the originals, I'll say.
yep.
And but when you get into higher ed, like who's training everyone was male dominated. So this is very
Interesting.
interesting.
Very
Yeah,
interesting.
there's some interesting stats there.
Huh. L- let me agitate just a little bit.
Yep.
It seems like if this is a female dominated industry, but then at the training level and the teaching level, it's male
Yep.
dominated, there seems to be a bias on the teaching of it. So, wow, I thought that was just in the pulpit. I just thought these were people
Oh,
that read the Pauline epistles and thought to themselves, a woman can't
no.
preach. But it seems to be in academia, they also believe women can't teach.
Well, we'd have to look at all of academia, and I have to admit, like I don't hang out in the stats enough to make a like a firm statement. But yes, you can see those gender biases showing up in academia and training, and like how my field plays out for sure. For sure.
Interesante. Muy interesante.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you're doing some like cool stuff now. And you've always been doing cool stuff. You have your own group, you have your
Hmm.
own practice, and but you've added to that. And I just want to like
Yeah.
talk about it because I think it's just like really, really dope.
Yeah. Well, I never want to. You and I are kindred spirits on this front. Like I never want to stop learning, right? So I'm
Right.
like always like, hey, what's the next piece? What's the next layer? Um, so one, I am spending more time out at the ranch. So definitely incorporating the equine assisted work, which is just phenomenal and powerful and healing. And I wish I could take you guys on a little walk and show you all my friends. They've got some new horses out here, so I'm having a
That's
fun day.
awesome.
Um, but what you're talking about, because you and I've been chatting about it quite a bit, is I have added a new form of therapy to my arsenal of tools, and I will call it that. That has just like put a bow on some stuff for me.
Yeah.
So recently added accelerated resolution therapy to my eye movements approach, which I've been doing EMDR. And you guys have heard me talk about this with Tim before. This community has for over a decade, for a long time. Um, and like Tim knows this about me, you know this about me. Like I'm really careful about like bragging about how fast something can move because I never want to give false hope. And there's some ethical pieces to that. Like we have to be careful about what can sound like a promise
Right.
because we can't promise anything.
Right.
However, ART is putting me in a double bind
Yeah.
with my words because I am watching people peel stuff off their nervous systems at such, I mean, it's called accelerated resolution therapy for a reason. Like it is at such a fast rate. Um, and honestly, over the past few years when I've been on your show, like people have called and said, hey, I want to come in and see you and fly into whatever. And I've kind of turned people away because
Hmm.
I just take the request very seriously. I would never want to be misleading on what I can do in a certain amount of time.
Hmm.
That has all changed because of this. And
Wow.
so I'm actually moving into doing more and more daily intensive. So
Hmm.
like daily units, like 1, 2, 3 days at a time.
Hmm.
And even if you're not finished, people walk away feeling better by and large.
Wow.
And they're coming back the next day and talking about that's the best sleep I've had in a long time. I'm not worrying about this anymore. I'm touching base with their home based therapist, going, "Hey, how's it going?" And it's like 2 or 3 months later, and they're like, "It's still amazing. Their
Wow.
anxiety levels are as low as they've ever been in their lives." And I'm like,
Wow.
"Okay, that's great. Just want to see if it's hanging on."
Yep. Yep.
So I am watching change work happen at a pace that I just did not historically believe was going to be possible.
Yeah.
Truly.
Yeah.
And so I am having a blast in my current work. Just a blast.
Well, I'm when you told me about it, I was excited by how excited you were about it.
Yeah.
Like when I see you ebullient, right? That's a great word. Everybody should go look it up. It's a great
That is
word.
a great word.
Yeah, I love that
That's
word.
an SAT word
Yeah, I
for
don't
sure.
use it. I don't use it often cuz the the situation doesn't call for it, but like you were ebullient when you found out about this and got into it and went to go get trained and certified and whatever boxes you got to check off
Yeah.
to be able to practice it.
Yeah.
And when you started telling me about the effectiveness and the time, I'm thinking about the 27 years I've been in therapy and
Yeah.
then ART coming out. And not that I still wouldn't be in therapy for 27 years, but just based off what you've explained to me, how fast stuff can get cleared out, which
Yeah.
would be over like several weeks, is getting cleared out in
Oh,
4 hours.
yeah. So the way I have my intensive set up right now, we do 3 hours in the morning. There's a lunch break. I try to make it this beautiful experience. I've got a little side room. I order you lunch. You get to go take your break, and then we do 3 hours in the afternoon. So it's like 6 therapeutic hours across the day.
Mm-hmm.
And the way I know you can talk EMDR with me. So for those who can't, like I'll just do my best. But in EMDR, we have these targets and they can be what we call cluster targets that like it happened more than once and you're doing some different things. But when you set up what your focus is in ART, it can just hold so much more. And they are not, I would say it's like a Venn diagram.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a lot of overlap between what EMDR and ART can do. There are things that I still believe I need to sidestep into EMDR to go do this and then come back to ART, which is just going to make everybody have a mentee B as I say that, because those two groups are super turfy.
Yep.
But the truth is, ART is just so fast and efficient at pulling off the dysregulation in your nervous system. The short version is, which is I think what I told you when we sat down and chatted over lunch, is this is just an estimate. I don't even know if you could technically ever prove this, because I think like a researcher
Yep.
to set up a study to prove this would be just nearly impossible. There's just too many uniquenesses for each person. But as someone who's been doing EMDR, eye movements therapy for over a decade, when I watch the 10 to 15 years that someone is like all these little like kind of EMDR targets in a span of 10 to 15 years that are like thematically connected.
Mm-hmm.
So you still have to have a therapist who knows what they're doing as far as like putting the focus together and conceptualizing the case, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
I look at each of those little like notches on this timeline that we're looking at, and what we're doing in 3 hours on the low end, on the very, very low end, like almost impossibly low. I'm talking like 6 months worth of therapy. On the high end, I was estimating like 18-ish months worth of like weekly therapy
Damn.
getting done in 3 hours. And I have actually had some buddies who have done both, and they're like, you're way underestimating. This is like, it was 3 years worth of work for me. And that's just the morning. And then you go and do it again in the afternoon and you're knocking off like another one. And so it's like, I'm just telling you,
That's
it
crazy
is
sauce.
bananas.
No, that's crazy sauce.
It is absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm like, yeah, I'm giddy about it. I
Oh,
can't wait to do it. Like I'm saving up my coins so
yeah.
so I can come over,
Yeah.
because it's not obviously if you're getting cleared of what could be at the very least 6 months and at the high end 3 years, it's not a $80 session, y'all. Right? Like this is
No,
it's
and
an
you
investment.
can find a wide variety of ART therapists out there. The way I'm doing it, there's a lot of pre-work. Like I
Mm-hmm.
do a lot of assessments beforehand. I'm collaborating with your home-based therapist or provider or coach. Like I
Yep.
work with coaches. Like I
Mm-hmm.
want, I can send you back to your coach. But I am like sitting down and doing a consultation with them. I'm asking for their feedback on like where you're stuck or why they're sending you to me, how we can best collaborate. I do a follow-up with them. Um, and so there's a lot of pre-work to conceptualize your case to take advantage. And like, I mean, it's a ton of paperwork for the client because I got this assessment, and I'm trying to make sure we're not missing anything. And so there's a lot that goes into it other than just the session too. So
For sure.
there's a lot of prep work.
Yep.
And I'm choosing to pretty much only do it in those daily units because I have had some people that their focus takes the entire day versus being able to wrap up like one of their focus points in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
There is still that ambiguity with therapy. Like it's your internal world. We don't know how long you're going to take.
Right.
And the risk is still so low for walking away feeling worse or like not making progress. Like
Yeah.
I mean, I have not had anybody walk away saying they felt worse.
Yeah.
I mean, I have not, and
Yeah.
it's just been phenomenal.
So it's fire. It's fire.
It is fire.
I'm super excited about it. Yeah, I'm gonna.
If all I could do is this is all I would do day in and day out. Like truly, like it's so phenomenal.
Well, let's believe God that'll be all you have to do.
We're gonna believe Jesus for that.
Yeah,
Yes.
for sure. Why would we not? So I want to make sure, for anybody that's interested, I want to make sure, because this with ART, this is the thing that allows you to meet with anybody from literally anywhere in the world. Whereas
so it is clinical.
Yep.
So they do have to come see me. They have to have their feet in the state of Texas.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But it's not a situation where it's like, I think there are some limitations in some other clinical work that you do that if they didn't, if they came
Yeah.
to come see you, you would be like, I'm not going to be able to do that for you.
Yeah. So I'm licensed in the state of Texas. In fact, I just found out that Texas legislation put the kibosh on for LPCs, which is what my license is, the compact where states would have reciprocity. Like there's like 20 some odd states that are opted in. Texas did not. So I'm just so ticked off at Texas
Yeah, me
right
too.
now.
Why can't we
I-
share?
Scarcity mentality. I'm sorry. That's what it is.
Wow.
There's enough that believe, oh, well, people are, because if we opt in, people get to like share, our pool
Right.
too, right? So you
Right.
can have someone from Minnesota that serves a Texas client. So opting in, they were more focused on what they'd lose instead of what they gain, which I looked at my colleagues and I was like, a scarcity mentality right there.
It
It's just
is.
so dumb.
Because
Is
they sure don't do it with gun laws. There's reciprocity with several states.
Oh, I know.
Seems
I
to
know.
be
And there
enough
are
guns to
other
go
like
around.
the psychologists have opted in. It's just the LPCs got squirrely. So I'm like, what's wrong with us?
That's crazy sauce.
Yes. So clients either have to come see me, feet in the state, or be a Texas resident. Um, and so, but I used to turn most of those opportunities away because I just was ethical about like I'm not going to tell you that this is worth it
Right.
if it's not.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
And so now I feel like it's worth it. Yeah, like you get all the prep work with me. They may have to have if they're traveling in, I do want them to have a home-based coach or therapist. If they don't have one, I've got coaches in-house that they can connect with
Got
that
you.
can kind of just do some follow-up coaching to make sure they're doing good. But yeah, they gotta like have someone to go home to, but they can travel in now and I feel really confident about how that's gonna go.
It's fantastic.
I know.
Dr. Captain Marvel Jenna Mountain is in the
Amazing.
house. Thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
coming by
Yeah.
and just sharing some of your expertise with us. I really appreciate it.
I want people to know that there are new things for the people who are willing to be learners like you and I are. Like that there are options out there, um, new growing new options that have a lot of hope behind them.
Yeah.
So absolutely.
Well, and because we are learners, as dwellers, we got to have you back,
Yes.
a few times a year just to like keep us informed on what
Yeah.
we don't know. Again, I'm the client. I'm the guy that's just been sitting down with majority women like yourself to get free. So
Yeah.
we got to have your voice interjected throughout the year.
Yeah. Yeah. And I would love to know like what you guys in your community need. You know me, Tim. I'm always happy to come back and hang out.
For sure.
And take questions and do all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm here to support you guys. One of my favorite thing about y'all's community, and this is a credit to you and your crew up there, is you guys you've always cared about mental health and wellness. It's always been a main priority. And so it's so easy to come and love on you guys and your community. So however I can serve, I'm in.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes.
I love you so much, sissy. Enjoy the horsies.
Love you too. Thank you.
And tell your kids I said hi.
I will.
And
I
happy
will.
anniversary.
I'll
Tell
tell
Blaine as well.
Pastor Tim said hi.
Yeah. Tell Blaine as well. Happy anniversary.
I will. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
I love you.
Love you too. Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
That's my sissy. That's my sissy from another Misty.
That's the first time I hear about ART.
Hey, yo, ART. Let me tell you something. She told me about it. She was so giddy.
Aw.
I don't think I've ever seen her excited about anything in her field as much as she is about ART. And yeah, it's pretty amazing. I'm excited about it. I haven't done it yet, but I will at some point this year. I think I'll be able to do it.
So cool. Shout out men.
Shout out men doing their work.
Yep.
All of their work. Hey, speaking of work, we asked y'all to do just one thing. Fill out that Google form.
Yes.
That's all we asked. We didn't ask for anything much.
No mucho.
Nothing much. Just fill out the form. Stop ignoring us. Okay. It's only like, what, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, if that? Less, maybe
Less.
6 minutes.
That's quick.
You know
Unless
what
they
I mean?
want to write a novel.
407 years ago. I wanted to tell you how I found out about this.
Is that the Constitution? Fourscore.
Oh my goodness.
Which I have some, like a mini report on the responses we've gotten.
Hit me with the mini report.
36% were very unique responses.
Okay.
Like, very much like they love hearing from the whole team, different perspectives, different cultures, your rap, listening to your music, the joking. Very unique responses, but majority of the people love just the vulnerability.
Wow.
That's why they come back to Wide Open, is because of the wide open conversations.
Yep.
So
That's amazing.
we're doing good things.
That's awesome.
And then 10.6% is just because you're Tim Ross.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
They just love you.
Oh,
'Cause you're
that's
just Tim.
that's sweet.
And then 6%.
It's a tithe.
Yeah.
We'll take a tithe. we'll take a tithe of liking. Only need to be liked 10% of the time. If only 10% of the people like me, no pasa nada.
No pasa nada.
Es muy bien. What's up, handsome? Hi. Oh, you look good. Thank you. You look good. Oh.
No, Samuel.
No, Samuel. I like that shirt. Is that your dad's shirt?
Hey, you are twisted and gifted. Did you get the sides taken down? Oh, you got it knotted up. Oh, it's growing, boy. Oh, you fine over here, bro. Mocha me. Hey, dude, you handsome, bro. Hey, you handsome, bro. Hey, yeah, bro. Yeah.
That smile.
Yo. Oh, God. It's too good, bro. Yeah. Yeah, you good? Yeah. You look good. Okay. All right, bro. I love you. Wow. Gosh, my sons are handsome.
Yeah, the whole vibe, like with the shirt and,
Oh,
and
no,
the
he
jeans.
he dresses. He thinks through it.
Yeah.
This every day he wakes up. That boy is like punctual, responsible,
Yeah.
initiator, self-starter, like locked in. Finished 8th grade in 5
Crazy.
months. Finished
Woo.
9th grade in 5 months.
Crazy.
Beast mode.
Crazy.
Sweet.
Crazy.
Okay.
I'm like, pass that anointing, please.
Oh,
To
baby.
the salon.
Baby.
You-
Take it, baby.
Baby Carlovich.
Take it, baby. I'm gonna swing a jacket at Hoolie's belly like Benny Hinn. Is that not cool? Should I not?
I don't know
Just
who
hit
that
her.
is.
Just hit her in the belly with a dress coat.
That's the evangelist, the
And-
white dude, right? The white evangelist on the stage, like from the 80s and the 90s, like doing a bunch
He
of
ain't
stuff.
white though.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, he's not white.
What?
You must have just saw him from the back.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'm thinking somebody different.
It might be somebody different.
So 6%.
Okay, yeah. She's like, I'm trying to give a report, niggas.
I'm just like, pivot. 6% come for community and connection.
Shout out members.
1% for morning news segment.
Morning.
But I did see a lot of comments where people don't watch the news and they don't care to, but they really appreciate the first hour because they get to hear it in a different light.
Good.
Because the news, like Fox News, whatever,
Yeah, of course.
they paint it so negatively.
Yep.
And you give a very unique perspective. 'Cause
Awesome.
you have Jesus.
That's great. And that's what we want to do. We want to sit
Yeah.
at the intersection
Yeah.
of faith and culture and give people a biblical worldview.
Yep.
So that's great.
Yeah, absolutely. So the top 3 blended themes is basically Tim, God, and faith. That's why they come for you.
Yep.
And wisdom, openness, and Tim, more of Tim.
Yep.
And community and openness.
That's hilarious.
I thought that I had to say 'cause-
Wisdom, Tim.
Yep.
Openness, Tim. Vulnerability and openness, more of Tim.
I thought that was so funny.
Rapping Tim, less of that. Tim and toes, 2/3. Oh, that's really
But
funny.
yeah, to sum it up, chat was like, people aren't just tuning in for one thing. It's the wisdom, authenticity, the faith,
Yep.
and fun.
That's awesome.
Like, we balance it Very well. So yay us and
Yay!
yay community.
And
'cause it
thank
wouldn't
you,
be the same
community,
without you.
for allowing us. I mean, like, that feedback is so valuable to us. Like, you have no idea. And how many people were a part of that by the time you took it?
211 people.
211.
Yeah.
That's a great sample size.
Oh yeah.
1 week.
Oh, yeah.
That's quick.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and we have some requests things that we can implement,
Mhm.
like maybe Bible studies, but we'll talk that amongst the
Yeah,
team.
for sure.
So yeah,
After
it's
we get
exciting.
off work today,
Yeah.
we'll just be like, now tell us, that's him.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not a white dude.
What is happening?
Shut up, Benny. Hey, Shut up, Benny. So, Mark from Adelaide,
Yeah.
he said, if you want to tell Tim, well, put this to Derek, but I saw it. If you want to tell Tim, he preached on being contagious as a Christian, like you have influencer. So, Mark is a G, bro. First of all, the fact that he can still remember it 15 years ago.
Crazy.
That's crazy
Great
sauce.
move.
That's number one.
Yeah.
Okay. Number two. That's exactly what I preached.
Number 2. He's right.
Number two, he's right. He's absolutely correct. That's exactly me. Right? So I have to preach on this, it's the influencers conference. And then I'm a burden preacher. I'm like, Lord, what do you want me to say? And all of a sudden, the only thing I could see in influencer was the flu. And how close influencer and influenza is. They're both meant to be contagious.
Wow.
They're both meant to spread in a community.
Wow.
So, yeah, I can't remember the exact title, but yeah, I was talking about you need to be the type of influencer that's contagious enough to infect others with whatever you got going on in you.
Oof.
And so, and we that's what we've done with this community, right? We've all been bitten by the vulnerability bug.
Yeah.
That's why we're here. You know what I'm saying? And I guess I'm the host. Like the you know what I mean? Like the host transmitter, right?
Yep.
This is a super spreader.
Yep.
We want vulnerability to be a super spreader. That's why we launched that company.
Yeah.
Because we were trying to like super spread it. I think there was somebody, I think Dre said yesterday, it was like, I'm believing God to give you back the company,
yes. Yep.
And that was so sweet. And, something in my flesh rose up like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Let's go get that thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's pop the trunk on these. You know what I'm saying? Like I had there was a little bit of that.
Yeah.
And here's what I really sense. All things work together for good.
Yeah.
And I feel like we did this whole thing that I've never done in my life, right? I've never been a business guy, and I've never been in business like that. I've been in ministry. I got into business to help people. I didn't get into business to get rich, right? And so we went down that way, and I felt like the Lord opened a door for that to happen. I believe he called us to do it. And again, other people can make decisions that can then change. It doesn't change the will of God. It just changes how the will of God manifests itself.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you let me give you a case in point. God tells David, someone from your bloodline will always sit on the throne. Okay? Mm-hmm. And it looked by all intents and purposes like that was going to happen through Solomon and his bloodline. David gives birth to Solomon with Bathsheba. And then they have Rehoboam. Mm-hmm. Rehoboam is the king after Solomon. Rehoboam is Solomon's son. But Rehoboam is so evil that God literally says, no one from your bloodline will sit on the throne. So does that change? Now, David is his grandfather. So does that change what God said to David just because his grandson sinned? No, he just uses another person. And the other person he chose to use as the bloodline was David's other son that no one talks about, named Nathan. Nathan wasn't just a prophet that corrected David. Nathan was the name of one of David's sons. And through his bloodline, you get to marry. Check this out, because this will nerd you out. Obviously, it had to be an immaculate conception. But here's the practical reason why it had to be immaculate. Because Mary is of the bloodline of David through Nathan. Joseph is of the bloodline of David through Rehoboam and Solomon.
Whoa. I've
What?
never heard that before.
Oh, absolutely.
What?
Wait, how did you get there?
The-
Well, yes.
the genealogy.
but I'm just-
Genealogy.
You got to read
What?
either
The
Matthew.
begets. That's where you
the
get
begets.
You know, that's why you don't leave nothing out.
Don't
too.
don't skip the begets.
That's why you leave.
Don't let them
nothing out.
begets get you tied up,
Right.
yo.
You're
Them
so
begets,
right.
them begets will give you what you need. And if you read Matthew's begets and then you read Luke's begets, you will see that Mary's through the bloodline of Nathan and Joseph is through the bloodline of Solomon. And if they would have gotten together, they couldn't have had Jesus.
I didn't put that together. I've never put that together.
God knows how to still get his will done, even when other people
Yeah.
make it,
Yeah.
got to make a turn or a detour. Obviously, it's not lost on God, but it is surprising to us, right? It's not surprising to God. So I believe God set that up, and there were he intended great things for it, right? It didn't work, and what feels like a step back is really God going, "Hey, we tried it that way.
Mm.
We're not going to try it like that no more. Sit right here where you were, and I'll just provide for you
That's so good.
right here. You ain't got to go try to do that again."
That's so good.
And that way, and I feel comforted by that, because now I believe God would have worked it out that way. But now I see in hindsight, there is absolutely no way, as a visionary and a steward of this space, if an investor came to me and said, "Hey, I've put this much money in, we got to go this way with the company." If that was the antithesis of where God was calling us to go, they'd have had to boot me, because I wouldn't have done it. Like, you can't take a burden and just because you made an investment, think you get a say in which way it goes. That ain't gonna happen.
And it's
I didn't let nobody do that to me. Part of my
No, no.
interruption. When I was a lead pastor in 2020, the only time our giving went down is when I addressed the spirit of division that was happening in this country and the effects that it was having through racism. Notice I said I addressed the spirit of division. Racism is a subcategory of a spirit of division. Any ism is a subcategory of the spirit of division. Racism, classism, chauvinism, womanism, feminism, socialism,
Man.
communism,
Yeah.
schisms, right?
Narcissism. No.
Narcissism. It's a subcategory
Yeah.
Yeah.
of division. So classism, these are all subcategories of division. The only time our giving went down all year is when I did a series addressing the spirit of division and calling the body of Christ into unity and calling out that nasty spirit of racism. Our giving went down. We noticed it after 2 weeks. And so the third week, after I preached my message, I looked in the camera, because this was during COVID, and I'm going in twice a month to do 4 sermons. I do 2 sermons every 2 weeks. So I'm preaching to an empty building, and I go in there and I preach my message, and I look in the camera and I go, "Hey, I just want you to know, as the lead pastor of this church, I have noticed that since I started this series on giving, this series on division, addressing division, that our giving has gone down. I just want to make it very, very clear. I will never change what God has called me to preach based on your giving. Y'all don't ever have to give again.
Yeah.
But you will not stop me from preaching what God tells me to preach.
Yeah.
Next week, giving was sky high.
Dang.
Tim got the stove on right now.
Dang.
You helping people, man.
You're not going to punk me.
Yeah.
You're not going to tell me what to, hey, I think you need to do more of this on the show. And I think if you do it this way, and maybe you need to talk about this because those clips go viral. You got me twisted. You'll never get that out of me.
Oof.
So I really do feel like, and remember I said something the other day broke, and
Yes.
and
Was
all
it
the
Monday?
Tuesday.
whatever it was, and then all the people started giving.
Yeah.
I just think that was like something prophetic that God was like, calm down, bro. Don't, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it was almost like
absolutely.
this confirmation, like, I don't know. I don't know who is confirmation for. Heaven, hell, me, us. I don't know. But it's almost like if I'm proving to anybody, I want to prove to hell, I'm not doing this for money.
Yeah.
I want all of hell to be on notice.
Yeah.
And any human that's being influenced by hell.
Oof.
Feel me?
Yeah.
I want everybody to be on notice. I ain't doing this for no money.
Yeah.
I did this when money was coming in. I'm doing this when no money's coming in.
Yeah.
I will be here.
Yeah.
I will be here. I will be here after you're here. You can try to do what we do. I'm going to be here.
Yeah,
After you stop doing what we do,
we're going to be right here.
I'm going to be here.
Yep.
I don't know where you going to be. I'm going to be right here.
Yep.
I
Gonna be
bet
right
you
here.
I'm going to be right here.
We'll be right here, Pam.
Y'all got me twisted if you think I'm going to be anywhere else than where I am right now.
Come on.
So,
now.
yeah.
Come on now.
I'm super excited. Super duper excited. So anyway, my heart is just yeah.
That convo happened when we were talking about sabbatical too, like about rest and about how
That's right.
Because the dweller, I
Yeah,
think his name
that's
was
right.
Mark. He said, "Yo, you're
That's
not
right.
hustling during your sabbatical to try to get more money or
That's
try
right.
to figure this thing out."
The Lord
And then
is
it
my
was like,
provider.
"Yo,"
Exactly.
And then you went into Exodus, and then
That's
the rest
right.
is like,
yeah.
has been,
That's exactly
has
right.
been a beautiful thing.
Crazy.
So I appreciate everyone's generosity, large or small. We don't look at it differently.
Yeah.
We thank everybody for your gifting, for your resources, for your treasure. Whether it's the time you spend with us, it don't have to
Yeah.
be money. The time you spend with us blesses us.
Yeah.
If you just spend the time with us,
Right.
that's gonna help.
Absolutely.
We're literally here to.
Come on, Tim.
Okay. God called me to be here. And the people that this is blessing, those are the people that will keep us here.
Yeah.
And I'll know it's time to leave when there's no more provision. That's when I'll know it's time to leave. But the provision doesn't have to make me wealthy. I don't have to. It could be just enough. I'm gonna be right here.
Yeah.
I remember telling Embassy City this because we never passed a plate in 7 years. Did I say all this on Tuesday? I don't know if I did.
A little bit.
We never passed a plate in 7 years. And I told them, we will do ministry here based on your giving. If you give generously, we will have AC and we will have electricity. If you don't give generously, we will do it by candlelight.
Yeah. So good. Yeah.
We'll open up the shades. You might have to have a fan in the summer. You might have to have a huge coat in the winter. But I will only do ministry based on what you give. And I'm not going to remind you every week to give. Just not going to do it. We can have a choir and musicians, or I can do a playlist.
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
going to sound better anyway.
Mix and mastered.
We could have we could have Naomi Rain here every week. She won't be here in person, but I can put her on the screen.
Yep.
I can put together 4 songs.
Yep.
And then mix it.
Yeah.
Like to make it blend together. Like it'll sound like it never stops. It's just gonna be based on your giving. Yeah. I can be here full time to do this, or I can be here part time to do this. It's just gonna be based on your giving. I can go get another job, but just know I won't be here to pray. I won't be here to, you know what I mean?
Yep.
We're just gonna do it according to. So like when you live open handedly and you take it out of, like when you take all the manipulation away, God does what He does.
Oh yeah.
So.
Tim, I love your heart.
Gracias. Te aprecio.
Te aprecio a ti. I was really grateful for you. I've been under a lot of leadership, and I'm like, you're literally my favorite. It's just you're amazing.
Thank you.
Like you're a true follower of Yeshua.
Thank you. My parents gave me a good template of what this looks like. When I tell you my parents have no duplicity, they have no duplicity. I was a PK kid. I was one of the only PK kids that never had that like, oh, my parents are one way at home and then they're another way. They've always been the same. Same people.
Shout out Ross.
Shout out Ross.
Family. It is 10:16.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. We were on a really good conversation. So I was gonna say it earlier.
Wow.
Yeah. Also, yesterday, what you shared after we wrapped up
Tim.
about what you were saying about, I don't want to give away what you're, but dude, that really impacted me on my ride home last night when I got home. Like, bro, like, thank you for sharing. Just thank you for leading us well, and thank you for showing your heart.
Yeah.
And showing us how to be able to not only like lead our families, but also our friend groups, our extended families.
Yeah.
And just like you're equipping us, man.
Thank you, bro.
And we will follow you as you follow Yeshua, bro.
Thank you, bro.
Absolutely. And when these calls are over, I'll remind you to bring up what you shared with us yesterday. You cooked me.
Yeah, it was.
I went home.
The stove was on.
Journaled, and I bawled for an hour.
Really? Are you serious?
Bawled.
Okay. Well, okay. Obviously, this is a different. So just talk about it now. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, let me pull it up. Before I journaled it, I did it with.
You saying it almost just made me snot.
Oh.
Yeah, what was it?
So you talked about it's so easy for people to name the fruit, but not the root.
Yep.
And so I've been going through my own things. I'm trying to find. No, I have it here. I should have brought my journal. My heart is beating so fast.
Is it really?
Can you hear it?
No, I
I'm
can't.
like,
I can't hear it. But
Because, oof. I guess I'll just, to be vulnerable, I'll just read my journal entry if that's okay.
That's fine.
It says, so when Tim shared today about how often we name the fruit, but never identify the root, it hit deep. Lately, one of the fruits I've noticed in myself is heaviness. I felt disconnected from my joy. I've had people tell me I'm not fun anymore, that I'm hard to be around, that I'm too deep, too intense. And for a minute, I believed them. But as I sat with that and honestly processed it with God and even ChatGPT, I realized that wasn't the whole story. That wasn't the root. Here's the root. I stopped people pleasing. And at the same time, I started grieving betrayal. I used to bring joy and laughter to people from a place of performance. I wanted to be liked, chosen, seen as the light in every room. But when I killed the people pleaser in me, everything got quieter, heavier, and more honest. That shift was hard for some people, including people I love. And then I went on to talk about 2 specific people who hurt me as I was cutting the people pleaser, and those 2 people, different situations, but compared me to someone who was more fun and easy to be around and entertaining. And it made me question myself if I was the problem. But now I know what I was feeling. The fruit was isolation, comparison, and rejection. And the root was that I was deeply betrayed. and I was trying to love people while healing from the pain they didn't know about. The truth is, I'm not too much. I'm not just performing anymore, and sometimes people confuse authenticity with intensity. But here's what God has shown me in this season. Because of the betrayal, the loss, and even the silence from some people, I've seen who is really for me, and more than anything, I've seen that no one rides for me like God does. No one is as faithful. He has held my heart. He has walked with me through the fire, and he is restoring my joy, not because everything is fixed, but because he is faithful. People often comment on my laughter on this show. They say I bring joy, and I smile when I read those because they don't know how much it costs me to still laugh. I resonate so much with our caller, Trey, because he's walking through his own trials but still carrying the joy of the Lord, still healing, still joyful. And I've had to learn to be okay with the fact that I'm not everyone's favorite anymore. I may not be the easy vibe or the fun one, but I'm someone who walks with people through the deepest valleys, and you taught me that. And I believe that matters more than being entertaining. And the rest I'll just leave. But it was just, I'm not the problem. I'm just becoming whole. And I wrote myself a little note to little Juli. And yeah, when I tell you I bawled.
Oh my gosh. It is quite the transformation, Juliana. When you make the choice to walk away from people who liked you better when you were broken. Yeah. To give yourself permission to change, and then to give them permission to choose.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm changing. You get to choose if you still want to like me or not, be around me or not. But I've given myself permission to change, and I give you permission to choose. Yeah. If you like this new version of me, rock with me. If you do not like this new version of me, walk away. Yeah.
But yeah, just that one conversation led me to that. And
wow.
I found so much freedom, and a little piece of little Juli got healed.
Unbelievable.
So I cannot wait for people to hear about this, because I can only this book, period, Missing Piece, is going to change so many lives, Tim. So many lives.
Yeah.
And we just heard one chapter.
Yeah. And you just heard one section of a chapter. You didn't even I didn't even read the whole chapter. I just read you that section.
What was it, 3,400 words you said you typed out in that
thing?
I
listen, I was over there. I was ethering that thing. Oh, this what you want from me, publisher? So, okay. Wow.
Not me being your first caller.
Is Ju doing spend lunch today? She's not. Okay.
I believe I'm almost positive last week that she said that she wasn't going to do it because she has a trip or something.
Yeah. It's actually true. It's true. She's going bye-bye. My brain. I live with the girl and almost forgot.
Thank you for the gift of your vulnerability, Hermana. It was beautiful.
You for
and I love you.
I love you.
Yeah.
Fire.
Wow, that felt good. That felt good. Praise God.
That was your first caller of the day, someone said, basically.
Yeah, you were. You were, absolutely. And I mean, again, we're not going to make the space safe enough for everybody else at the exclusion of ourselves. You know what I mean? Like, we're spirit-led, and we needed to hear that today. Yes. It wasn't just that I needed to hear that today. We needed to hear that today.
Yeah.
And so thank you so much for sharing something so vulnerable and intimate. Like, to give us your journal entry is crazy. like. So thank you.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for holding space for me. And for teaching me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, God is good.
Did you say that people don't or people prefer you when you're broken than the healed version of you? Is that what you said to her?
People, the majority of people benefit from our brokenness.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, Tim.
Yep.
They benefit from it in one way or another, right? This is crass. I hate to say this. I benefited from the brokenness of a young lady having father wounds. Sexually, I benefited from that. Right? You benefit from somebody that's a people pleaser. They'll do anything to please you. They'll give you their money. They'll give you their car. They'll overextend themselves. They'll stay with you late at a party when they know they got to get up early. Like at the expense of you having boundaries, I benefit. At the expense of you having self-awareness, I benefit. We benefit from people's brokenness when we're broken ourselves. The moment we get better, the people that were only tapping into that broken side of us no longer have an entry point. And they're like, oh, you changed. You switched up. You're not fun anymore. Well, I'm not making you laugh at my expense.
Yeah.
I'm freaking tired today.
Yep.
And I don't mind telling you now because I don't care what that does to you. I used to care. Oh, I don't want to say nothing because I don't want them to have a bad day. F your day. I have a day too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You
Oh,
control your damn day. I'm control
Yep.
mine.
Yep.
What are we doing over here?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So
Yeah.
you know, all of that changes. I've been under pastors and leaders who have told me they've had an internal beef with another pastor somewhere. Oh, I don't know if I want you over there. Did God tell you I can't go over there?
And he didn't mess with you. You have no
Yeah.
problem.
Like
you know what I
you,
mean?
you got a beef with
Yeah.
him. I ain't got no beef with him.
Yep.
And I hope y'all squash y'all beef because it's
Yep.
petty anyway.
Where's
That
that cross-examination at?
That
Yeah, exactly.
part.
You know what I'm saying?
That
There's two
part.
sides to the story, my nigga. And I only heard your side. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like self-differentiation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm cool with you and I'm cool with you. You ain't gonna make
Yeah.
me choose.
Mm,
Your enemy is not my enemy.
right.
That's not loyalty.
Yeah. Everything ain't the 48 laws of power and art of war. Like,
Well,
every one book.
48 laws of power and the art of war are both demonic.
Yeah.
Oof.
Satan wrote the 48 laws of power through that author. I'm telling you right now. It came straight from the pit of hell. I'm telling you right now. 48 laws of power came straight from the pit of hell. And I'm standing on that. You go read that book, it is the antithesis of the kingdom.
Come on.
Every
dude.
damn chapter, bro.
Come
Every
on.
law of power is the antithesis of the kingdom of God. It's an antichrist book. And if you got it in your library, burn it. I've never said nothing this strong on an author's work.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. And I know that's not the only one, but that one right there is demonic. Any pastor reading that book needs to burn it.
That part.
I promise you, dog.
That part.
I promise you, get that book out of your mind, get it out of your heart. If you've been applying any of its principles, I'm telling you, it's demonic. That book came from Diablo.
Facts. Oh, facts. Oof.
Mm-hmm. So,
Ah. Hearts and minds clear?
dare I say, do we have any callers?
I don't know. I mean, they were lined up before we got into this combo.
They all hung up. They was like, I'm good. No,
We definitely got our first caller lined up. We'll figure out the rest.
yeah,
after
they were
that.
like, I think I'm cool. I think Juli's journal said enough for us for the whole day.
So good.
I think I'll be all right. Y'all want me to read you the
Yes.
that excerpt?
Yo,
Please.
Yeah,
do
I'll read
it,
you
down.
Do
Do
it.
it. Do it.
All right,
Do
I'll read
it.
y'all the
Y'all about to get cooked. Just warning.
This is
Grab your tissues.
let me find it.
Yo, Tim, thank you for sharing. Thank
You're
you for the
welcome.
exclusive, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For sure. Okay, so this is
So I'm like, we could have gotten that in December. But he said, here you go.
Here we go.
I think it was chapter 9.
Chapter 7.
Oh, it was chapter 7?
Yeah,
Chapter
chapter
7.
7.
Oh, thank you.
I will never forget. I will never forget.
Yeah, because I was like, yeah.
Oh, I did. I wrote. Obviously, you know, I've been grinding after y'all left.
Yeah.
So I got through. So if that was chapter 7, I did 8, 9, and I think I was able to get through 8, 9, and 10.
Dang.
Oh, you are on one right now.
Dang.
Trying to. Okay, 7. Yeah, let it out. Okay. The weight of hidden things. I'm super hyped. Okay, so this is chapter 7, and the section is called "Going Deeper Than Surface Confessions." Okay,
Yeah.
that's the section in chapter 7. So here's what it says. There's a difference between saying I struggle with lust and saying I'm maintaining a relationship with someone I haven't told anyone about. It's gone too far and I'm scared of what that says about me. There's a difference between saying I stress eat and saying I binge in secret because it numbs me for a while and I'm afraid if I stop, I'll have to feel what I've been avoiding. There's a difference between saying I'm tired and saying I feel numb most days and I'm afraid I'm starting to detach from my life. There's a difference between saying I've been frustrated with my spouse and saying I've been fantasizing about someone else because I don't know how to deal with the distance that's grown between us. There's a difference between saying I've been spending a lot lately and saying I've been trying to buy my way out of sadness with new shoes, new gadgets, and the rush that comes with every delivery notification. There's a difference between saying I have trust issues and saying every time someone gets close, I sabotage it because I'm terrified they'll leave like everyone else has. There's a difference between saying I procrastinate a lot and saying I avoid starting things I care about because failing at something that matters feels way more painful than succeeding at something that doesn't. Surface confession is like skimming leaves off the top of a pool. Real confession is diving to the bottom and pulling out the bricks. We don't just need to confess the fruit. We need to find the root. That takes honesty. That takes attunement. That takes language. Because healing begins when truth gets specific. We have more words for our fruits than we do our roots. We've been taught how to name the behavior, but not how to name the belief behind it. We can describe the symptom, but not the source. We've rehearsed the cover story so many times, we forgot to learn the language of what's underneath it all. We need more words for our roots. Give words to your roots. That was that section. That made Juli go home and journal.
You gave me homework, so I did it. I was like, I'm gonna go home and do my homework. 'Cause they cooked me.
So, yeah, that was that.
Oof, my gosh.
I don't have a journal entry, but it was like, yo, I'm hula hooping, self-differentiation, but am I hiding that and using that as an excuse to be able to disconnect from the things that are impacting me and my brokenness? And I realize that right now, just to take it back with what you just said, I was benefiting from my brokenness myself. I was being selfish because it was easier. And like, dude, I do want to give language and words to my roots. And I want to teach my children to do that.
That's right. Absolutely.
And I want to teach the people, or at least model, because I can't teach anybody. But I believe like you've been modeling to us how things have changed.
Yep.
The self-differentiation, also staying regulated and doing the small things, even like just the small little physical exercises and different things to maintain when your body is responding.
That's right.
If I can just model that to them.
Absolutely.
Because I feel like a charge on my spirit, and this is something that I felt last night too, is like, God has me here. I made a comment yesterday. I was like, is this real life? You're like, yeah, it's our lives. Like I walked away from that and I was like, there's a charge on me to be able to grasp and get this. So that way it doesn't stop with me.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, because I have an open hand with it.
That's right. Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And the Lord giveth.
Yeah, that's right.
And he taketh away.
That's right. He does whatever he wants.
So I need to absorb as much as I can so we can continue to normalize vulnerability.
For sure. Absolutely. Okay, I'm curious about something you said. You said you can't teach anybody. What made you say that?
Maybe because I don't have the credentials, or maybe because I don't have, you know, the quote unquote like, you know, like, documentation or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, so the last thing I want to do is feel like oh, I'm gonna teach you something because I got it all figured out. I
Yeah,
guess
yeah,
that's
yeah.
probably where it came from,
Gotcha.
honestly.
I don't have any documentation, and I don't have any credentials.
So what you're saying is I need to be mindful of the words that I say. over this.
Got it.
No, thank you for that, Tim.
You feel me?
Yeah, thank you for
Yeah,
that.
like
Thank you for that.
we're all teachers.
Mm.
All of us are teachers, whether we ever acknowledge it or not. We are always teaching somebody something about us, whether we use words or just our actions.
So I'm reframing teaching somebody by what you're giving me right now. Because
Yeah.
now I'm able to look at teaching a lesson or
Yeah.
being taught something.
Yeah,
Yeah, I got you.
we think if you make it synonymous with education,
Yeah.
then none of us can be here right now. Like we gotta give the show to Jenna. Right, because she has a doctorate, so it's
Yeah.
like,
Right.
hey, we got this show up and running for you, but we're gonna need you to take it over because we don't have your credentials, right?
Yeah.
But she's on our show,
Yeah. Or I'm gonna teach you a lesson. Like, oh, okay, got it.
right? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, so
Yeah.
yeah,
Whew.
yeah.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you, Tim.
You
Yeah.
good?
Hey.
You good, bro?
Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus.
Oh man, this
People
is
saying
great.
that they're throwing away the Art of War books at their house.
Oh,
the
dude,
laws of power.
that thing is
They're
that
like
thing,
people are throwing them away.
Now I don't know as much about Art of War,
Yeah.
as I do 48 Laws of Power. 48 Laws of Power is demonic.
Sun Tzu is the same. It's the same vibe. It's
Okay.
Like, it's,
When I saw, I haven't seen a massive amount, but I've seen pastors who have this book in their library and they make it a part of their, and I'm like, this is why your ministry is so bitter. Like, it tells me everything I need to know. If this is a part of your philosophy, if this is what you've adopted to like make it in life, it's the opposite of vulnerability.
yeah.
It's everything to like self-preserve and get what you need out of people and
Yeah.
keep them at bay. That book is demonic, man. I stand on it.
I believe it.
Amy, thank you so much for your gift. I appreciate
Yes, thank you, Amy. And thank you, everybody, for the love. I'm catching up on the comments.
I know.
Love
there's
you
so much
guys.
love.
Love you guys.
It says, are we going to be able to get an ANC like we did with the basement? What is ANC?
I have no idea what that means. Where do you see that? Tim?
Was there like a
He said, are we going to be able to get an ANC?
Didn't we do something like break early release to some dwellers or something? I think
I don't know what
we should be
ANC
referring to.
means.
Key, if you could just like clarify.
An advanced copy of.
Oh, an
Is what-
advanced
yeah.
copy.
'Cause I remember you did that for the dwellers for Welcome to the Basement.
Yep. Oh yeah, for sure. Brittany said 48 powers. 48 Laws of Power felt like a book for liars.
Breaking
Oh my god.
the laws. Breaking the laws.
Oh my goodness. Oh my god.
Oh man.
Oh, dude, that's so funny. Okay, are we taking calls? Or what are we
I
doing?
mean, we got calls
What are we
lined up. We can
doing?
talk about our lives. I can give you my testimony from this morning.
Our social security number.
I got pulled
Oh, that's
over this
really
morning.
funny.
all kind of stuff.
pulled over this morning.
Yeah, bro.
Did you really?
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
I
I'm
did.
sorry.
Did they give you a ticket?
Oh yeah, they did. Hey,
I'm
sorry,
them
brother.
Argyles, bless me.
Oh, they done got nothing else to do.
They
You said
blessed
they
me.
blessed
They
me?
blessed me. Bro.
Oh, dude, I tell them all the time. I tell my mother-in-law all the time because she just don't like cops. She thinks every cop is some racist. I'm like, I was gonna be a cop. Hush.
Wasn't she a cop? No, she
No,
was.
my mother-in-law.
Your mother-in-law. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry. I'm
Mommy.
sorry.
So she always she always has a issue with cops, and like all they do is pull you over and give you tickets. Oh, they're just sitting there writing tickets.
Yeah.
I said, you do know if they don't have nothing else better to do than to write tickets,
Yeah,
that means there's no crime around here.
yeah.
That part.
It was my fault.
Because in
You did a good
LA,
job.
I never got a ticket in the hood for driving. They was too busy answering domestic violence calls. Gang unit was out. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah.
Busting people for drugs.
Yep.
Trying to run down the cartel.
Yep.
I have never been clocked for speeding in LA. Ever. Not one day in my life. So if you live in a neighborhood where the only thing the cops got to do is to write tickets,
Yep.
consider yourself blessed.
Got me, dog.
That's perspective.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Perspective.
I take ownership.
And I appreciate that.
I no longer have a perfect record. I got hit.
It's not about perfection. It's about progression.
That's it. I'm progressing. I'm gonna progress to the court. I'm gonna pay that fine.
That's right.
I got sidetracked because that train is so long.
Oh yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
That train is long, and so I was like watching it and pulling up, and then there was a light coming up. It was changing yellow. I was approaching. It turned red as I approached to the thing, and I was already committed. If I would have stopped, I would have stopped in the middle. Of the
Yeah,
thing.
for sure. No, I'd be committed too.
And I ran it, and he was the first one in line going left, waiting for the train, and he hit me, and I pulled right over, and I was like, "Hey, man, I was looking at the train. I saw, you got me." And then I didn't have my wallet. I left my wallet this morning, so he cited me for not
For
having my
license.
for not
Yeah.
having my
But
license.
that can be waived.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that can be
Yeah.
waived.
Yeah.
Did you have? I learned to do this. Do you have a? Do you have a picture of your wallet in your phone?
I have a picture of my wallet, and I have a picture of my driver's license. Absolutely, I was lying.
That's what I'm trying to say. You showed him a picture of your driver's license.
I did.
Then he shouldn't have given you the citation.
He hated on me.
Yeah, he did. You don't need to like it. It's ridiculous in 2025 that you would need a physical copy of your
Yeah.
for license and insurance.
Yeah.
That ain't gonna fly if you get to the airport.
Right.
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 But stop
right,
playing.
Right.
Yeah.
You're gonna look
Yep.
up the driver's license number.
Exactly.
You're gonna run it anyway. It's
Exactly.
not
You
like
don't
the
see me.
physical thing is gonna be
Exactly.
like, oh, this looks authentic.
Yeah.
You used the right plastic.
Yeah,
Oh my, this one feels a little bit more flimsy.
Yeah.
I'm used to the one. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
all they're gonna do with the license is go run the number.
Right.
Bro, I had it, and I was like, "Sir, would you mind if I showed you a picture?" My apology. I left my wallet today. I'm usually carry it with me, and he was like, "Sure, show me a picture." I showed it to him, and then he's like, "Is this your current address?" And I was like, "Actually, it is not. I recently moved. I need to update that still. But
Yep.
Let me give you the address." He cited me for that too,
Oh my god.
not having my license updated.
That
I smiled. He was dysregulated. I smiled. I was chilling. I was like, "Yo, it's all good." I was like,
He's mad he got to write tickets. And he thinks he wants more action until them shots ring out. You know what I'm
That
saying?
part.
And then you like, man, I should just write tickets.
That part. Preached him.
Yeah. So okay, what we doing?
"Okay, cool. Yeah, let's
First
let's
caller.
get it. You ready?" Ah,
You hear this music?
got the music going now.
We're late getting to it,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
we're still wide open. We late as hell and wide open.
We open late.
Más tarde y wide open. What's poppin' with you though?
We made it.
We made it. What's poppin' with you though? What is we doing? What y'all doing? What is we doing? And what y'all doing? And what is we doing? And what y'all doing? What is you doing? Hey, I like this. The OG dweller.
Yeah. So okay.
Hey, when you call yourself an OG dweller, you already know you already know you all right with me.
Tim,
Who is
so,
this?
all right. So our caller wants to remain anonymous.
Okay, but she an OG dweller though.
Yeah. I don't know if that can make it. Anyways, she wants to be shown to only you, not
Yes,
the
ma'am.
stream.
Yes, sir.
She goes by Ale. Ale, welcome to Wide Open with Tim Ross.
Alleluia. 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 Hola.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm so happy to have this chance to talk to you.
I'm so grateful that you're on. It's good to see your face. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me. Shout out to the team. Derek, my brother, Juli.
Love you.
I love you guys. I feel like I knew you for years.
We love you.
And Uncle, thank you for everything that you do. I hope you never get tired of hearing that because you are blessing so many people around the globe and we're just so grateful. for you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so honored to serve you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
What's going
Okay.
on?
To get to the question, I'm sorry, I'm a little nervous.
No, take your time. Take your time.
I did write it down because I tend to be a little scattered, so I didn't want to miss anything.
Okay.
But the question, I'm going to start with the question and I'll give you a little bit of background. My question is how to hear God's voice after leaving a narcissistic system.
Yes.
For background, my husband and I were part of a church for 8+ years. We were lead servants for the production team for 5 of those years. During that time, we were both blessed and taken advantage of at the same time. We experienced spiritual abuse for the majority of our time serving. We were molded to believe that the church elders were our only source of connection to God and that our service was the only currency to earn blessings. Mm-hmm. The pastor would say that if God spoke to us about something and didn't speak to him about it, then it wasn't God and we needed to be cautious. This created some sort of codependency in me. I fully relied on Sunday services and a move of God to get a word for whatever I was going through at the time. Mm-hmm. Sometime in late 2022, I started to wake up and I started to feel like something was off about their teachings. However, God was still moving in that church and in a positive way. So I started to question my discernment. And at the time I brought it up to my husband, he wasn't on the same page as me. So I yielded in a sense, but something still in me didn't feel right. The teachings were very much misogynistic. The pastor would brag about waking his wife up in the middle of the night to make him a meal because he was hungry, and said that if a woman didn't submit to her man, she was influenced by the devil. The women's ministry was very much a school to teach us how to be maids, cooks, and freaks without complaining or expecting much, because that was our duty as women.
Damn.
I've always had a little bit of rebellious sense in me, so I didn't attend the women's gathering as much, even though I was expected to as a leader. The last time I attended a class for them, the pastor's wife opened up with saying that if we didn't cook for our husbands, we were in sin. She said she had scripture to back up what she said. Out of respect, I stayed, but rest assured, I never went back to one of those classes. But that was just the tip of the iceberg. The pastor forced us to go to meetings and usually would tell women that we needed to dress modest because they were making men at the church stumble. During that meeting, he used a member of the church as an example, and he said, so-and-so has the best body in this church and she doesn't dress to show it off, and neither should you. Mind you, his wife was front row listening to this. It was just a very toxic environment. They were very money hungry. None of the money that they collected ever went out to any missions. There was no community outreach, no assistance. There was nothing. Their whole mantra was buying a big building so they could become a mega church, which I always found strange because the pastor didn't even like us. He would often get on the pulpit and tell us that he was there out of obligation to God, and that if God gave him a choice like he did Moses to replace us, he would. So I never understood why he wanted more people when he couldn't handle all 100 of us. At some point, he started to refer to the church as a business and an enterprise. And he said that we were lucky to have been there from the beginning with him. During this time, you had a pod with Jenna Mountain. Even though at first it was more about a dynamics between like a women and a man relationship, I started to pick up on those relational traits and comparing them to my church. Then you started to discuss narcissistic systems and how they were also in the church. And that was very monumental for me. I think that's the moment where I felt like God was flagging me down and saying, hey, like, I'm speaking to you.
Yeah.
So I was very emotional, though. I was very emotionally wrapped up with this church. I was spiritually wrapped up with this church. Our entire lives were woven in this church. Like, we moved states to be close to this church. We bought a home in a state that we have no friends, no family, just to be close. So it was our entire lives.
Yeah.
It was very difficult for me to walk away.
Of course.
In the span of those 2 years, I wrestled with all of this, and my marriage had some turbulence. My mom fell ill. She was hospitalized, institutionalized in a mental health facility. Thankfully, she made a full recovery, but at the time, it was something that I wasn't prepared for. And because my marriage was rocky, I feel like I didn't have anyone. And I went to somebody at the church that was an elder that I trusted. I felt they could give me some guidance and comfort. And her response was that my mom was weak and I was weak. And that's why we struggled with mental health issues like anxiety and depression. So after that conversation, I felt isolated.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Take your time.
I had no one to turn to. I didn't trust my church. My husband and I were going through a rough patch, and my mom was in the hospital. My health started declining, started to feel dizziness, brain fog, pains from my neck down to my back. I've seen more doctors that I care to see. They can't give me answers as to what's happening. I started praying to God for healing, and I stupidly make the mistake to go to the pastor for help. And when I asked him to pray for me, fast forward that Sunday service or a Tuesday service, he used my situation as an example without saying my name. He said, to anyone who claims to be sick and the doctors can't find anything, you're making things up. It's all in your head, and you just need to get close to God. I lost it. I had a conversation with my husband yet again, and I told him I felt like I no longer could be there. Not only were they expecting us to serve every service, be there before everyone got there, and leave after everyone was gone, but they also started telling us that we shouldn't take vacations until our team could function by themselves. And now I was being used as some sort of prop for a service, for a sermon. So February of last year, we made the decision to leave, and we left with our head held high. I left everything so that the team could function without us. The pastor told us that it wasn't from God, that us leaving wasn't God telling us to go, and that we would be back. Since then, we haven't been able to find a church. We have visited some churches, and we finally found one that felt like home, but it's in my home state in Maryland, and it's just 2 hours away. So it's not somewhere where I can congregate and, build community with. So I often feel that void because I no longer have that community.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just me and my husband in this state with no friends, no family, but our home is here.
Mm-hmm.
I have been asking God for direction in the past year, but he's been really quiet when it comes to that topic. I've had some really crazy experiences with him showing me that he still sees me, but there's no answers for our next steps. With the state of the country, the persecution with Latinos and stuff, we have considered to move countries as well, but we don't want to make moves without him.
Understood.
So I feel like this is taking like a huge toll on me. I don't want to be somewhere where I'm not liked because of my skin color. And I don't want to bring a child into this situation, but I do want a family. So I say all this to say that I'm trying to figure out how to hear God on our next steps. Because I feel like after I left that church, I was also left with this inability of hearing his voice.
Okay. Ale, I love you, and I'm very angry on your behalf. I want the name of this church written on a napkin so that I can blow it up. When no one's there, of course. Maybe around 2 o'clock in the morning. I know that wouldn't do anything for the pastor. He would still be an idiot when he came back, but um, he's a horrible man. And he's not just a narcissist, he's an abuser. He's everything you've said. I just want you to know that. I just want to validate that and affirm that. I felt like the Holy Spirit gave me a scripture for you. So I want to read the passage and then I'll give you context, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so this is Joshua chapter number 5. Now it came about when all the Amorite kings beyond the Jordan westward, and all the Canaanite kings by the sea heard how Adonai had dried up the waters of the Jordan before Bnei Israel until they had crossed, their heart melted, nor was there any spirit in them anymore because of Bnei Israel. That Bnei Israel just means children of Israel. At that time, Adonai said to Joshua, make flint knives and circumcise again Bnei Israel a second time. So Joshua made flint knives and circumcised Bnei Israel at Gilbeth ha-Aralath. Now this is the reason why Joshua circumcised all the people who came out of Egypt who were males, all the men of war, had died in the wilderness along the way after they came out of Egypt. Though all the people that came out were circumcised, none of the people who were born in the wilderness along the way as they came out of Egypt had been circumcised. For Bnei Israel walked 40 years in the wilderness until all the nations, men of war, who came out of Egypt died out because they had not listened to the voice of Adonai. To them, Adonai had sworn that he would never let them see the land which Adonai had sworn to their fathers that he would give us, a land flowing with milk and honey. But he raised up their children in their place. Joshua circumcised them, for they were uncircumcised, since they had not been circumcised along the way. Now it came to pass, after they had finished circumcising the entire nation, they remained in their places in the camp until they recovered. This is the verse that I feel like I'm supposed to give to you. Joshua chapter number 5, verse number 8. Now it came to pass after they had finished circumcising the entire nation, they remained in their places in the camp until they recovered. When did you leave this church?
February of last year.
Okay. So you leaving a narcissistic system is an absolute circumcision. It might as well be a castration, but the Holy Spirit gave me Joshua 5, so we're going to go with circumcision. And circumcisions hurt. That's why they do them to babies. Because I don't think any 21-year-old men want to be tapped on the shoulder and told, hey, time to go get your circumcision. No one's playing basketball later that day. No one's playing football later that day. No one's going to the park later that day. No one's going for a stroll. There needs to be a recovery period. You and your husband have circumcised yourselves from a narcissistic system, and you need time to recover. And this is your recovery period. And Ale, here's what I know about the recovery period from narcissistic systems, because I've been in one, survived one, got out of one, circumcised myself from one, all the things. We want it to be over faster than it actually takes for it to be over. The recovery period is longer than we want it to take because we want to move on. But here's the truth. I know that you're still recovering from this because in the retelling of it, there are still tears. And those tears are very valid. Because when you have given your life and your time and your energy and your resources and your treasure and your soul to a place, when this is the place where all of your memories have been made, both good and bad, where you've established relationships, both good and bad. Most people that leave narcissistic systems, they leave because of the narcissist. They leave behind people that they dearly love.
Yes.
And it feels like survivor's guilt because you know something that they're not readily convinced of yet. They're going to find out as well, but they haven't been close enough in proximity. They haven't been directly impacted yet. So they still, some of them still feel like it's the greatest place on earth. And you don't want to dishonor and say anything wrong because it seemed like you're coming against the man of God, blah, blah, blah. So it does leave you very isolated. It does leave you very lonely because it's not like you left, but the people that are still there feel comfortable coming over, still hanging out, whatever the relationship was before. It's a complete cutoff. When you leave a narcissistic system, it's like leaving an island. You are a castaway.
That's what it feels like.
Yep. And so I just want you to know that these last 16 months, this is a recovery period for you. And if this church two hours away is really good for you and your husband, join them online while you continue to recover. Because there is a promised land coming for you. That's the beautiful thing about Joshua chapter number 5. After those men healed from that circumcision, they crossed the Jordan and went straight into the promised land. And that's what's next for you and your husband. But you have to fully heal from this first because you don't want to take any of this sentiment into the next place God has for you. And you do not want to project what happened to you in this past season into your future season. So in the present, you just want to fully detox. You want to fully heal because you don't want to get to the next place and be flinching. You don't want to get to the next place and be looking at the pastor side eye and be like, oh no, he's probably up to something. It took me 10 years and it wasn't like I was at the house for 10 years, but it took me 10 years to fully recover from the narcissist that I was under. The most extravagant gift of choosing that recovery of healing is that I never have to worry about being under a narcissist again. I can sniff them from a mile away. I can see a narcissistic system from a mile away. What you described is every narcissistic system. That's how I know it's demonic. Because they're all set up the same way. And while I have empathy for narcissists because they're broken and they need God and they need healing and they need all the things, I have empathy for them, but I also have no sympathy for them, especially when they are in leadership roles in churches, because to help to claim to help everybody else and you're not getting help, to claim everybody else needs to submit to you and you're not submitted to somebody, that is I agree. I have empathy for their brokenness, but I don't sympathize that they're still broken because that's a choice. I empathize that they were broken, but I do not sympathize that they decided to stay broken. I move around that. I leave that. I distance myself from that. So I commend you for being brave enough to leave, you and your husband. But I also want you to know 16 months, you're still recovering, and it's okay. It's okay. And I believe that God is not giving you any clear direction because he wants you to recover here. The children of Israel had to recover in the place that their injury took place. They did not get circumcised and then move somewhere else. The same place that they were cut, that's the same place they recovered. And then they moved to where they were supposed to be. So just continue to recover. You even calling is part of your recovery. And I commend you for it. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
But I want you to know. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Ooh, he loves you. Ooh, I love it. You didn't waste those 8 years at that church. God saw your faithfulness. You were under leaders that couldn't steward your faithfulness, but God saw your faithfulness. And I just need you to know that he saw your faithfulness and he says, well done. He says, well done to you. No matter what they said to you, no matter what they've said about you since you left, I want you to know what the Father says about you. He says, well done to you. He says, well done to your husband. You served God while you were there. You did not serve that man. You served God. You were faithful to God while you were there. A man took advantage of that, but God gives you credit because you did everything you did as unto the Lord. And when he opened your eyes wide open, you left because you're his daughter. So I just need you to hear that. I don't care what they've said. I don't care what they're saying. He could do a whole sermon series about you. And I'm telling you right now, the Lord says, well done. Well done, Ali.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. It really took a lot out of me to even call you. I've been dancing around it for a while because it hurts to talk about it.
Absolutely. I can understand that. Yeah, it does hurt. But I also want to encourage you because I can identify with you. I know what it is. Like I can. That's why I'm so angry. That's why I want to blow up the church because I can't stand narcissists that put people through this without a care. The best thing you can do for your body right now is to be honest about what you went through and to be honest about the leadership, because that's one of the things that a narcissistic system does is it punishes people who critique the system. It punishes those that even raises questions about the system, questions about the leaders. And so you're trained not to question, and you're trained not to be honest about what you're experiencing because you don't put your mouth on the man of God. Touch not my anointed and do my prophets no harm, right? These narcissists fancy themselves as Moses in a way and think that if anybody talks about them, the ground's going to open up and swallow them, and God will give their naysayers leprosy and all this. They just romanticize the Old Testament like crazy. But the best thing you can do for your body is to integrate the negative reality and integrate the honesty of the story. You're not dishonoring this man or his wife or his church or the entire system by telling the truth of your experience there. You have not gotten on this call with me and said anything dishonoring about this man. You've just told the truth. And as my friend taught me, if you don't like the story I told, you shouldn't have chosen the role that you played. This man chose to play the role of narcissist and dictator. And as a result, this is the only narrative you could walk away with it.
Is there any like practical advice that you can give me so that I can like get close to God again? Because I feel like this whole experience kind of left a sour taste, and I don't even approach God as much as I should, and I know it's wrong.
Yeah.
And I don't want to fall into that deconstruction
Yeah.
box. I want to get close to God again. I want to hear his voice again. And I want to have a healthy relationship with him.
Absolutely. Yeah. So one of the best ways you can do that is to vent everything you feel about him, God, the pastors you were under. Like this is the time to connect with the Psalms where basically the writers were cussing, right? They were doing their nice little biblical cussing about the circumstances and the situations that we were in. Got to remember, David was under the rule of a narcissist. And so his most frustrating psalms sound like, "Dear God, what the hell?" That's literally how those psalms sound. They are, "Sir, can you please kill this guy? Can you break his teeth? I'm on the run. I didn't do anything to this guy, and he's still my king? He's still the king? Do you see this?" So I think your connection with God needs to be through your anger. It needs to be through your frustration. It needs to be through your hurt. You don't have to approach him in this very like sheepish way. You can come boldly to the throne of grace, and you should bring boldly all your emotions with you. And you just need to lay them all out before him. Here's the way I feel about you. Here's the way I feel about the last 8 years. Why the hell did you make me go through that? Why is that man still breathing? We've had funerals for some of the sweetest people in the world. How come this guy's still alive? I'm telling you, those have been my conversations. I had an obsessive thought with the person that caused me my spiritual wound. My obsessive thought was to stab him in the trachea with a rusty fork. I know that's violent. But this was my recurring thought every time I thought about the man. And I had to bring it to God. Like, God, you know I want to stab this man in his trachea with a rusty fork. And obviously I chose something very painful and very blunt and something I was going to have to. But here was the reason. It was specifically the trachea, because the trachea is involved in producing sound and producing voice. And his voice had manipulated and hurt so many people that I just wanted to stop it at the root. I didn't want his mouth duct tape. I wanted a rusty fork through his trachea, so that one or two things happens. He either never talks again, or he talks like this and nobody wants to hear from him anymore. Just telling you the truth. And never did the Holy Spirit, after I did that, go, "I can't believe you would talk to God like this. How dare you come into his presence with this level of emotion? Respect who your sovereign creator is." No, that's how that clown narcissist sounded. God don't even sound like that. If God truly is up there mad about how we emote, then he would have took it out on his son, because his own word wrapped in flesh said, "Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. My God, why hast thou forsaken me?" So
just have to get real with him, I guess.
Get real. Get real. I'm gonna give you some homework if you can find it. It's an old movie, but it's got to be somewhere digitized. It's a movie called The Apostle.
Okay.
The movie's called The Apostle. And I think Robert Duvall is the lead actor. I'm almost certain. Yeah, that's him. Yep. Yep.
I think I found.
Yeah. Please go watch that movie. There is one scene in there. If you watch that movie, there's one scene in there. I will not have to tell you what it is after you watch it. When it comes to like just however you're feeling, just give it to God. This movie depicts it perfectly. So that's your homework, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Deal.
How do you feel?
I feel good.
Good.
I feel good. I think the scripture that you gave me really is the answer that I needed
Okay.
in a way.
Yes, ma'am.
Resonates with me. So I appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely. I love you, and I love your husband, and I'm proud of the decision you made, and I'll be praying for your peace as you continue to recover.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a great weekend, okay?
Thank you, dear team. You too.
Okay. Bye.
Bye, guys.
We love you.
Love you. Okay, bye.
Oh man, narcissists are man.
Dios mío.
Oof.
They make me sick. I love them, and I keep saying I have empathy for them because they didn't get like that by themselves.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yep. Yeah. And I've been thinking about this that you've mentioned a couple of times. Babies are born narcissists. Like
They
they're
are.
narcissists, but they just grow out of it depending on the influences, right, and the parenting, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, when I come across a narcissist, I'm like, what are your parents like? Like, what influences did you grow up around?
Either narcissists are born out of severe neglect and or severe abuse.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if it's one or the other or both,
Yeah.
that's how they get there.
Yeah.
Yep. Who's next?
All right. Tim, we got Jasmine joining. Jasmine, you're live with Tim Ross.
Hi, Jasmine.
Oh, we can't hear you.
I can't hear you. I think it's your maybe. Is it on mute?
No.
There you go. There,
Now-
now we got you.
Boom. There you are.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
It's all good.
Hi,
How are you?
everyone. It's true what they say about the nerves. I was like, yeah, I could do this. And then the nerves settle. But thank you so much for having me. I just wanted to obviously ask my question, but also let you know that your obedience saved my life.
Wow.
Actually, like it did save my life because I've been following the basement, upset the world, the whole thing since like I think your third pod on.
Okay.
And when I first started listening, it was like from a place of curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember one day, I mean, since I started, I've been binging. Like, I know that's a hefty word, but I've been binging.
Yeah.
Like your pods, when I started, I'm like, okay, I have to keep listening. I would wait until you would release one to listen. And one day, I was laying down in bed and I was listening to a pod with you and Juliet talking about like spiritual abuse.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of my story is very similar to Ali's story. So but I remember the conversation you and Ju were having was so liberating because for years I felt like I was crazy for feeling the way I felt about church because I was like, no, I love the Lord. I want to serve. I want to I want to give it all, but actually, and this
Hmm.
something about this doesn't feel right, or
Yep.
something about this just feels so disingenuine.
Yep.
And so there were parts of me that I would bring it up and I would be shut down so quickly. So I was like, Lord, you're probably reprimanding me.
Mm,
This is probably my flesh speaking out.
mm.
And there was a moment in my life where I sat down and I was like, okay, this is it. This is what it means to be a believer. I have to do this. I have to put up with all of it. It's part of the, you know, strap up your bootstraps kind of mentality in
Yeah.
church. And so I was like, I have to accept it. And I was grieving that until I heard the verbiage you and Juliet were having around. And I was like, oh my God, I'm not crazy for feeling the way I feel. I'm not wrong.
Right.
And so I think your conversation put a lot of verbiage to it. Now I say all that to say because I gonna ask my question, but I just want to know if you're opposed to me providing a little bit of context.
Not at all.
If that's
The more
okay.
context, the better.
Thank, thank you.
Yeah.
So my question is, how do I properly grieve the old version of me after, years of spiritual abuse? And the context I want to give to that is back in 2019, it's a little bit amplified, but yeah, back in 2019, I moved in with my pastors, and the reason why I did was because I was fleeing an extremely toxic and emotionally just yeah, toxic household
Hmm.
that I grew up in. And
Hmm.
so I was so desperate for years. I was waiting to turn 18 to leave. And so these pastors were currently my youth pastors transitioning into their own church.
Hmm.
And so they welcomed me into their home. And everything I'm about to say is true, and also it doesn't change the fact that there was good times and they did help me and they all the good stuff.
Great.
But I moved in with them in 2019 and I lived with them for 5 years. I just left their home last year in June and I left their church last year in September. So it hasn't even been a year since separated from them completely.
Hmm.
So I endured lots of I now have language because I do therapy with the bomb therapy. I love
Good.
it. It's the bomb.
Good. For
I
sure.
love it. And so I have verbiage and I have context, and now I can say it's spiritual abuse,
Hmm.
among other things.
Hmm.
They were in control of every single aspect of my life. At this time, I was in college and I had church Monday to Monday. I was working 2 jobs and I was a full-time student, and they were just kind of like working me out, like working me to the most. They were like, okay, cool, you're tired and exhausted, but also you have service tomorrow or you have to do this.
Hmm.
And there came a point for years where I was everything. I say that in the context of I would sound mix. Like I would do kind of what Hector and Derek do. Like I would do that, and then I would run all the way up because they wanted me to open, and then I would run back because they wanted me to sing, and then I would run to back to go set up the camera, and then I would run back to preach because I had to preach, and then I would close, and then I had to go run to make sure the kids are taken care of because of the lack of membership in that church. And when I tell you, it feels liberating to say this because I'm like, no, God, this is not a lie. This is the truth. This is what I endured for years.
Yeah.
And they wanted to me to be youth. Well, not wanted. I did function as a youth leader, and they put pressure on me in events. And they were like, you need to be A, B, C, D. It got to the point where they belittled me for being Mexican, and they aren't white. They're like Central American. But there was one day I got into their car and they were basically telling me like, you're Mexican, so you don't really have morals. You're Mexican, so you don't really have, you don't really understand because of the situation that happened. They were like, so we kind of have a little bit grace because you're naive and you're like um saying all these things. And I just remember soaking it all in, and I was like, this anger and this rage, but I was like, there was this feeling inside of me, and there is still some guilt where I'm like, I'm grieving because I hate myself for letting myself go through that for 5 years.
For
It
sure.
was 5 years and I will put this at too. They helped me. I mean, I grew up in a very extremely close-minded household
Hmm.
where I didn't know anything. Like I moved into that. I don't know what taxes were. I didn't know how the world operated because I grew up extremely just secluded.
Hmm.
And so they kind of like took that. they took me as a blank canvas, and I would take care of his mom. His mom had Alzheimer's. I would shower her, bathe her, take care of her. His wife did most of the work, but we were like both doing that together. I even till this day, I somehow miraculously, I signed some paperwork for him and his daughter for immigration for sponsorship. Until this day, I don't know what I signed. I just kind of was like, okay, here, like I'll do it, and I just like here, like I gave myself away completely. They had control on every single aspect in my life, and I will tell you this with my whole heart until the Lord kind of tells me I'm wrong. I don't remember a single day where they were like, "Hey, how are you?" I,
Mm,
I can't I can't remember a single day where they were like, "Hey, how are you feeling? How are you okay?"
okay.
And so my separation with them was it was so traumatizing where I went home and I said, "Hey, you know, I can no longer participate in your church." I kind of explained a little bit. Like I feel too drained. Like I was burnt out.
For sure.
Burnt out.
Yeah.
I was going up stage and rolling my eyes like I don't want to be here. I was giving attitude and up until then I did everything they told me, but I was just so done. I was done.
Yeah.
And so I told them that, and pastor was just like, I mean, he was like, "You're committing spiritual suicide. Like, like, the enemy's just gonna go take you down, like, outside in the world, and like, you're gonna be bait." And he was like, "Are you expecting me to pray for you? I'm not gonna pray for you." Like, and he just kept saying that over and over again, like, "I'm not gonna pray for you. I'm not gonna pray for you. I'm not gonna bless like the decision that you're making." And he was like, "I'm angry. Like, no, this is not okay. Like you, like, this is a choice I want to take." And it was just kind of like this, like shaking my head. And because I was so used to being a perfectionist and kind of I was their guest.
Mm-hmm.
They had a baby. They were waiting 17 years and the Lord gave them a baby. And that baby is like, I love her,
Mm-hmm.
and I would come home and take care of her 11, 12 a.m. And then I would, after work, and then after, like, I was always eating at 11, 12 a.m. from work because I was putting in overtime with this baby. I was taking care of her, and I did it from a place of so much love because I love her.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized where I had no life, I had no say, I had to do what they told me to do,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of in fear of rejection, in fear of, because I thought they were right
Yep.
my whole time. I mean, the mindset I was in is wild. Like people from work are like, it's kind of giving cold. And so I would laugh and be like, "Ah, like they don't know what they're talking about." But then I like sat down and I was like, no, they have so much control over my life,
Yeah.
how I said it, how I dress. Like if I wore something, "Oh, like, are you a nun? Are you dressing like a nun?" And then I would switch it to something and they're like, "Okay, so now you want to be a whore." So like it was just, it was every aspect of my life. And when I would like come into their car because we were leaving somewhere, they'll like debrief on like the things that I did or the things I'd say or the way I would do things. So they were very hyper, like just analyzing me. And I say all this to say because leaving was so traumatic because the things that happened after then, my whole life I thought they were right because people love them.
Of
Like
course.
it would like mind boggle me, and I would cry myself to sleep like I'm wrong. Like people love them. If they were wrong, people would hate them.
Mm.
But people would like praise them and give them gifts and all these things, and they love them. And when I saw them in action, like church wise, I was like, no, I understand why people like them. They're very likable people.
Yeah, of
But
course.
behind closed doors,
That's right.
it was it was different.
Of course.
And so
Absolutely.
and now I sit here, and the things that happened after that made me feel for so long that I made the wrong choice. Like my mom like had to go to the hospital. She's still in the hospital. She had this big old thing happening. Like my family relationships are estranged. My work is crumbling. Like all these facets of my life just started to crumble, and exactly actually what Ale was saying. Um that I just there was this point where I disconnected from the Lord. And my question is like, how do I grieve that? Because I see myself, and people at work tell me all the time, they're like, "Jasmine, like you used to have a Bible verse for everything. You used to have like encouragement for us all the time." Like not saying like where it's at, but it's like, you're different, you changed.
Mm-hmm.
And this situation did break me.
For sure.
I'm still in my journey of like, what do I do? I even think like how and if will I ever be able to reintegrate into a church, because after I left their church, I still try to go to the church that I grew up in.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just trauma
For
trigger.
sure.
Everything was just like, I can't be here because
Yeah.
I'm like, are you doing this because you want to? Are they
Right.
forcing you? Like, my
Of
whole
course.
brain was just
Yeah.
all over the place, and I had
Yeah.
to step away.
Mm-hmm.
And so, it was just at that point where I'm here now trying to mend my relationship with the Lord, but I'm grieving that old version of me of like, yes, I was like being manipulated by a narcissist and an abusive, spiritual relationship. But, and at the same time, like, I used to be that pushed me to be spiritually like, no, like, I'm gonna do what God says. Like, I was just so connected with the Lord. I felt like we were one.
Mm-hmm.
And now I felt like that's all gone. And I guess my question is, how do I grieve? How do I get over this? How do I, like, I want my relationship to go back to what it used to be. Like,
Yeah.
with God, I want to be able to bless others the way I used to. And now I'm just like, well, I'm broken and I can no longer serve the way I remember serving
Yeah.
in the aspect of outside of like the four walls of, you know, Little C Church.
Right.
But yeah, that's my question.
Wow. I do not think it's a coincidence that you and Ale called
Yeah.
back to back. I think it's as much for you as it is for Ale
Hmm.
that you heard her and now she's hearing you. And it's
Hmm.
confirming what I said to Ale, which was the people with narcissistic behavioral traits operate the same exact way.
Hmm.
They are very charismatic people. They're very likable people. A lot of them are very generous, kind. They do stuff, but they give to get. Everything
Yeah,
they do ultimately is for their benefit, not yours.
absolutely.
So in them even being generous to allow you to stay with them, you became their personal assistant, caretaker, nanny,
Hmm.
you know, domestic help,
Yeah.
right? And then to
Hmm.
never check on you, like to find out, hey, how you doing, Jazz? You good? I mean, yeah, because they don't care. They
Hmm.
for them to care, they would have to become a different person,
Yeah.
right? And to actually do their work, and they're not doing it. Okay, so the way you grieve is what you're doing right now. Grief is not linear. So it is not like I've wept over it, therefore it is done. No,
Yeah.
there's stuff like I talked about with Ale. Her recovery time is is recovery time is completely different than rehabilitation.
Mm.
Recovery is stay off your torn Achilles. Don't put any weight on it. We're going to put you in a boot. Here's your little scooter. Sit down somewhere, right? That's recovery time because there needs to be time to mend. Rehabilitation requires you to start doing what you used to do before the injury occurred.
Mm.
That ish hurts. Rehabilitation is painful. Physical therapy is painful, right? But if you want to get back to doing what you used to do, you're going to have to put yourself back in those situations. So your recovery time is one level of grief. You get through that by expressing it, talking about it. Again, I cannot stress this enough. Do not minimize your anger in your grief. Anger is part of the grief process, but so many people minimize their anger because they're too afraid of their anger. They think if they tap into it, they're going to sin with it. Obviously, you need to have some guardrails. You need to have some safety parameters.
Hmm.
But I think the reason why I haven't literally physically harmed anybody or murdered them, in Jesus' name, thank God, is because I vent very well. I get it out of my system. When I'm angry at a person or a situation, I cuss, fuss, and kick up dust. And so I thoroughly get it out, whether that's one time, 10 times, 50 times. I get it out of my system so that my body's like, okay, we've exhausted that. We're not mad anymore. If we see him in Walmart, it's not on site. Bless God. Like, I'm grateful that it's not going to be on site. Right? And then so grieving is one thing, and a lot of that needs to happen in the recovery time. The next level of grief that happens is when you start going through rehab. You find a new church family. You find a new community, and then free of a narcissistic system, you're like, oh my God, it could have been like this.
Right.
Oh my God, there's pastors that won't use me.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're gonna start crying again because you're like, oh my God, I don't even know how to deal with this. And you're so nice and you don't want anything. I don't understand how to deal with somebody that doesn't want anything. Like, you know what I mean? And so you're crying again. And so grief is not. I don't want you to think of it as like in, well, I've done the 3 of the 5 stages of grief and I got 2 more to go and that'll be done. There are certain things that happen that still make me, again, when I hear about people that have been in narcissistic systems, it makes me want to go blow up their churches that they were a part of. And to be honest, just the way I'm wired, I think a little duct tape and hog tying of a pastor and leaving him out, in a little, like maybe a little commercial freezer, like at a restaurant or something, until all that spiritual stuff wears off, and then he just and then I'm like, oh, so you're normal now. Mm-hmm. You ain't all deep. And let me tell you what's crazy. I didn't ask Ale how many people attended her church, and I won't ask you either, because I know narcissism runs the range of mega churches and small churches. But I gotta tell you something. The small church narcissists, they blow my mind. The small church narcissists blow my mind. I'm like, there's not 300 people in here, and you're God's gift to who? This is a damn small group. This is not even let's not call it a congregation. Mm-hmm. There's shepherds. There are literal shepherds.
20 on a good day.
Say that again?
We had 20 on a good day.
Right? So this dude, right, walking around, literally, there are literal shepherds that have more sheep than this guy had people. Mm-hmm. Right? That's not a church. That's a life group.
Yeah.
I know Sunday school class is larger than that church. What are we talking about? And this is the man of God that everybody's supposed to be submitted to. And then he has the nerve to tell you that if you were to leave, you have removed yourself from the covering and the enemy's going to bombard you. Mm-hmm. You look pretty safe to me.
I actually thank you, because when I think about it, the straw that broke the camel's back for me was like, I laughed when I was like, okay, this is the right thing to do, was when there was a situation where there was a man who was a new believer, mm-hmm. was messaging me inappropriately, and I brought it up. The first message I got, I was like, all right, I showed them like, this man was messaging me inappropriately. And so they were like, okay, we're going to keep an eye on it. We're going to monitor it. And then somebody who was younger at this time, I guess you can say she was a youth I was mentoring. Mm-hmm. She was, of course, underage, and he was sending her really inappropriate messages. And when I called him, and I was angry, and I was like, this is disgusting. Like, something needs to get done. She's underage, and dare I say, they were related. So I was just like angry. And when I brought it up to him, he was like, we have to have grace. He's a new believer, and like, we got to be careful. And in this operating of like this same operation, when she told her parents were just kind of like, oh, that's what you get for like dressing like the way you, she had no support. Because the mindset that the pastor had was the mindset that her dad had. And that's what, like, the rage, and that's what made me be like, okay, God, this is my sign that I need to leave. And there was guilt, Tim. There was guilt where I was like, I'm leaving this girl alone with
Yep.
this disgusting man who is like her uncle.
Yeah.
And so I was like, how, and I was, and you know, my French, right? But I'm like, how the fuck am I gonna leave this church
Yep.
thinking that it's okay? And I felt guilt and remorse, like I'm gonna leave her with this man. I was, when he would message me, I kind of laughed because it was so irrelevant to me. I was like, I got a million things to worry about other than this man messaging me. I wouldn't message him back. It was just, I was like, whatever.
Yep.
You know, but then when I saw that he was, you know, you do it to one person, I didn't realize until later that you know, I wasn't the only victim. Like he was targeting other young people
Yeah.
at my church. And when I saw his attitude of like, you know, you have to be careful. It's not like we could, you know, scare them away. They're new believers. And I was like, in my mind, I was like, I'm sorry, God, but like, I don't care if they're new believers.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm like, I don't care. You're being disgusting. You're being lewd. You're being like, you're behaving in a way that and she called me, she was crying in her room like, oh my god, they're here at my house, we have like, you know, our version of small groups. And she was like, I don't even want to leave my own room, he's in my house
It's
and I don't know what
nasty.
to do. And I just remember feeling like, oh, like I can't. Like I remember seeing his reaction made me realize like, no, this is not going to change. Like
Mm-mm.
I could be easily in that situation
Yep.
and not be taken care of. So I'm glad that you said that because operationally this man was like, he was just kind of like, no, we have to keep going. When I told them that I was overworked, burnt out, because I was serving, I mean, there was days where I would go hour early setup. I would sing. I would preach. I would open. I would close.
Yeah, well,
I
I
mean,
saw
prayer.
you running back and forth. You were running
Well,
sound, then you ran up there to
I
sing,
kid
then
you
you had to
not.
go back
Everybody's
and then
standing there, the congregation, everybody being 10 people, and they're just looking at me, running back and forth. Oh, I have to go set up the camera now. Oh, I have to go make sure the kids, and then I run back up because I have to preach. And so there was no help. And there would be times where I have to clean up and cook and clean because apparently it wasn't enough. And so it was kind of this system where when I brought it up, I kid you not, I will never forget this day until the day I die. And I will grieve it and I will have forgiveness one day, but it will never leave my mind. I won't forget is that I brought it up once because they were having a meeting and basically the bottom line of the meeting was Jasmine has to do more. And so I was like, hey y'all, I can't. I'm burnt out. It's just me for I can't. I literally can't do this. And when I brought it up, I just remembered they were laughing. They were laughing and they were like, "Oh, ha ha ha, you know, when I was your age, I was serving in 6 different areas and you know, I was fine." And they were kind of bragging about how like, "Oh, we never ate. We would just go to our car and change and then go out." And so I remember being like, "Good for you."
right.
And that's not for me. And
Absolutely.
they were so good at manipulating situations that made me feel like, oh yeah, I'm wrong for that. Until one woman was like, saw that they were laughing at me and just kind of like, and they were being petty. They were like, fine, then if you don't want to do it, we don't need you. The Lord will send us the person that we need. Like, you know, that same energy of like, God will provide. And I was like, kind of like, no, you're not listening to me. And this one woman was like looking at them and she was like, gave me a hug because I was crying. I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God, I feel so insane right now. And she hugged me and she looked at them and she was like, how about we say we can help her? And she
Mm.
looked at me, she was like, if you need help putting up the chairs or taking down the chairs, she's like, I'm gonna be there. You need help moving the camera? I don't know what I'm doing, but I'll do it.
Yeah.
And so she was like the gem in all of this,
Yeah.
but that made me realize like I'm not crazy. And
Yeah.
it's the same way what trying to tie it back to what you were saying. It's like operationally they were in this mindset that they just didn't care. And
They
the
don't.
ego was so high and all this stuff. And I'm like, you had 20 people and you had one person running it all. I mean, that was just mind-boggling to me.
Well, the fact that it's crazy. I see everything in pictures, and so
Yeah.
it's a very crazy thing to me. It 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 drives me in between um, anger and humor that a guy would be like, if you leave, God will send somebody to replace you. Okay, so the church goes down to 19 and goes back up to 20, and then you're advocating for a freaking pedophile to be your 21st member.
Yeah.
bravo, church leader. You're insane. Right? I'm sick of YMCA church pastors out here abusing people, and God can't even trust them with the equivalent of a high school student's classroom. The science teacher got more people in their class than this man has in his church. Now, again, I know that there's narcissists that got huge churches and willed power over, but I'm just tired of the YMCA church pastors. They need to, they got to stop. It's too much. I'm very glad you're out of the system, and your grief work is going to benefit you. But I'll tell you the same thing I told Ale. You did it as unto the Lord. And you wake up one day. Here's the thing I hate about a narcissistic system. I haven't met one person yet that leaves a narcissistic system, even knowing all the things that, like, the revelation, right? You get the revelation of, like, oh snap, I can't be here anymore. And we still feel guilty when we leave. Right? Because we're not just leaving them, we're leaving everybody.
Mhm.
And we can't even give them context, because then it looks like we're talking ish about their, the man of God. And so you leave, and it's kind of like, hey, it's my time to go. My season's up. And they're like, oh my God, why? And integrity won't let you be like, because this dude's a a-hole. Oh my God, why are you talking about the pastor like that? Because if they don't see what you see, you can't tell them. They're not even in a place of maturity to handle it yet. And so you feel guilty. Then you feel like you have survivor's remorse, because it's like, I got away from the cult, but they're still in it, and I left them there.
Yeah.
It's terrible. Like, I'm telling you, I know it firsthand. It does a work on your psyche. But I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. And yo, it's their loss. All of these clowns that don't know how to steward great servant leaders, it's their loss, because God's gonna make sure you're in a community that knows how to treat you right.
Thank you.
And girl, you have a gorgeous smile.
Oh,
Like,
thank
it
you.
is like
Mhm.
that's a light up the room smile.
Thank you.
And the fact that you can
Oh,
still smile after everything that you went through just lets you know what the protection of God is like, because in both you and Ale, like, neither one of you are bitter. And this is a choice that we have to make when we leave a narcissistic system.
absolutely.
Because if you choose the other side, then we're deconstructionists, and then every church is like this, and then we don't want to go to church no more. And this is why I gave up on God, and this is why I do crystals now. This is why I just started smoking blunts, and this is why, because all of this stuff, blah, 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 blah. So I commend you for not allowing a bitter root to take place and take away the joy of the Lord.
Thank you, because that's therapy work. If it weren't for my therapist that I have at the Balm, I mean, she don't play. I'll tell you
Yeah.
that much. But she also is very much like, we're not gonna let the seed of bitterness. And she's like, yeah, we're on a path of forgiveness, and we don't dismiss what they did. We don't write it off as, oh, it is what it is. Like, I will tell you, that same guilt that you're talking about made me show up to Christmas dinner with them. I left in
Wow.
September, and I went to Christmas dinner in December, and when I tell you I showed up, I've never felt anxiety and panic like that. I mean, my body was like vibrating like the Nokia, like cell phones. Like, they were just. I was like, oh my God, I can't be here. And I remember leaving, and all the people who used to eat dinner with them were like, oh my God, like, where are you going? Are you okay? What's wrong? And I was like, I can't be here.
Yeah.
My body was like, get out. Like, my
Yeah.
body was just like, I can't be here. And so I just recently severed that tie. And I think that's what's helping me not go into bitterness, is that we used to have a cell phone plan among the million things we had intertwined. And so I dropped my phone in water. I went to go try to get it fixed. And so I found out that they separated from the phone line without letting me know.
Wow.
And so I just got angry, and my boyfriend was like, why don't you see this as like the final, like just snip, like that's it. There's no more
Absolutely.
bondage, and that's it. Like you're not tied to their cell phone plan.
Good.
And because in this process of my life, I know I'm not probably ready, or maybe I am. I know the Lord has placed in my heart a wild, wild dream to move to Texas. It's wild, I know.
Yeah.
And I would say it all the time, like kind of like as a joke to everybody, like, yeah, I want to go to Texas. I know nothing about Texas. I would just say that. And I know like the Lord put in my heart. And when I brought it up to my therapist, she was like, no, my spirit felt like confirmation, like, okay, bet. And I knew one of the things that was having it in my brain, I was like, but if I leave to Texas, what's gonna happen to the phone plan? We're in a contract. And so that was one of the things I was like battling. Like,
Yeah.
how do I leave but without confronting them?
Yeah.
How do I leave but without having to show up like, oh, we gotta go meet together and do this.
Right.
Not because I have anger,
No.
because when I'm with them, everything that they did to me, I treat them so like normally.
Yeah.
I'm just like, yeah, cool, what's up? I don't have nothing.
Yeah.
It's just after I'm like, ugh, like,
Yeah.
after I'm like, why?
Yeah.
But I remember like thinking about like, God, if I go to Texas, my phone plan, and I felt like that was the last snip the Lord put like in my way, was like, no, like we're done. It
That's
was
right.
whatever, they did what they did. And so I'm grateful. I just wanted to put out there that grief made me show up to Christmas dinner.
I
I
love it.
mean, guilt. Like that guilt
Yeah,
was
that
like, ooh,
guilt.
I have to
Yeah.
show up.
Yeah.
Like I feel so bad.
I did that. I remember when I left, uh I was still sending like birthday messages and church
Mm,
anniversary messages, and my body was so pissed at me. My body was like, how dare you betray us? Why
yeah.
would you stay connected to such toxicity? Like it was making me physically ill.
Hmm.
And I'm like, no, I'm gonna be the man of God, and I have integrity, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna prove. And I'm like, I'm proving it to a monster who will never acknowledge all the pain and hurt and harm that they did to me.
Mm,
Why would I do I so there, what part of me don't I love that I would keep exposing myself to this toxicity? They're not gonna write back, and then I'm gonna feel away.
mm,
They do write
hmm.
back, but it's short and cold. Then I'm gonna feel away. Why do I keep
Hmm.
doing this to myself? And you're right. You just gotta cut them off. They're not worth
Hmm.
it. They're not worth it. And once they're out of your system, you see them again, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
there goes YMCA. Oh my God. I'm calling them niggas YMCA forever. Like they're never gonna have why. You don't want to stay at this YMCA. Don't stay at this YMCA. They are narcissists and manipulators, and they'll take all your time and your money. Young man, don't you go to their church. I said, young girl,
man. Oh,
don't you go to their church. You're gonna get hurt, and they'll take all your joy and pain and multiply it. Please don't stay at this YMCA. 20 members at this YMCA. He ain't got no church. It's just a life group, and he don't even tell the truth. Okay, that's my freestyle. It's over.
I love that. Can you burn into a CD for me, please?
I will. Hey, listen, I'll get you a song. I'm gonna get you a song. Oh, I'm gonna get you a song. I'm getting you a song. My next Suno song is for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I
Thank
got you. I got you. Listen, Jazz, I'm proud of you. Keep doing your work. Keep grieving. Keep healing. The best is yet to come for you. I'm glad you're out. Glad you're out. And if the Lord says Texas, make sure it's North Texas.
hey.
Yeah.
Can I share something
I've been
wild?
hearing that.
Yeah. Juliana wants to say something.
Before you shared that the Texas part, I had a vision that Tim, you started a church, and you were literally a member here in Texas, And I'm not saying that God is telling you to start a church, because
Thank
it could
you.
be a wide
Thank God.
it could be a wide open in-person event.
Right,
You know, it
absolutely.
could be anything.
Yeah.
But I just got that vision. I wasn't going to say anything, because when I get those, I'm like, all right, Lord, if that was real, it's going to happen, you know? But I really I just want to confirm, like, I feel that for you too. Like, you belong here.
Shout out members.
Thank you. Wow. I
Amen.
have to.
Okay.
But
Juli.
test that, obviously. 'cause-
Yeah, absolutely.
It feels so wild. Like, it was a delusional dream. Like, it was just kind of, I would laugh because I'm like, all the good churches are in Texas. And then I would say it as a joke. But it's just wild to feel like the Lord is still looking after you, even after the fact. And I don't know how he's going to do it.
Yeah.
I don't. I tell my therapist, like, I don't know where, how, where. I literally told her DFW. I was like, I don't know what that means. I don't know what's there. She was like, yeah, let's stay in northern Texas. And I was like, okay, I don't know what that means, you know?
Right.
But thank you. I really appreciate Juli for that. Yeah, it's difficult to trust in the Lord when you feel like you're only meant to be used and abused, when you feel like this is all that's left.
Yeah.
But when you have like God redirecting you, it's like, it feels like that made me feel like, oh, I'm not alone. He's with me.
Yeah.
He's not gonna leave me.
Absolutely.
And that is so comforting. Thank you.
Absolutely. If you need help with the move, holla at your girl. Got you. I'll show you around.
¿Eres mexicana?
I'm sorry?
¿Eres mexicana?
Sí, soy mexicana. Mhm.
¿De México? ¿O no?
No, mis papás son de México. Yo nací aquí.
¿Qué parte?
Yo o mis padres.
Tu padres.
Oh, mi mamá es de Sonora y mi papá es de Michoacán.
Vale. I just want to say, your parents, as Mexicans, and you, as a Mexican American, everything that man said about you and his wife said about you in the negative is false. Complete BS. And I know you were angry in the moment, but I was angry when you told me. I'm like, how dare you say about a specific country that everyone that comes from this country is a certain way? Like, yeah, he needs to be stabbed in the trach with a rusty fork. I'm sorry.
A rusty fork.
It
has
had to be. It has to be rusty. Because I want tetanitis to step. Like, I want it to seep into.
Yep.
I want it. He
Yep.
can't talk again.
Yep.
That's all.
We got a pattern.
We got a pattern. We got a confirmed pattern.
We gotta confirm.
If anybody ever gets stabbed, if you ever hear on the local news, local pastor gets stabbed in the trachea with a rusty fork. That nigga Tim got out. Tim didn't pray.
Couldn't be Tim. We
And
were live
missing
streaming.
nails.
Didn't pray. Tim
live streaming
didn't
during that
pray.
time.
Yeah, I'm gonna have an alibi. Why was Tim doing a late night stream? But it says it was pre-recorded. What?
Tim frozen like this.
Right?
That's crazy sauce. Hey, even if you ever make a visit to Dallas, please
Yeah.
let us know.
Please.
But I'll have this song for you probably like 30 minutes after. I'll have Hector give it to you in your Discord.
Yeah, we're gonna call Hector on vacation.
I mean, I'm
we're
sorry.
gonna bring him in. We're
Derek.
gonna find Hector. Hey, Hector. Hey, you're on vacation, dog. Hey, bro. The amount of times that people have called me Hector, dog, it's
Dexter, Herrick.
Dexter, Herrick. Like, people look at me sitting in front of Tim for 3 hours and him saying, "I'm gonna have Hector do it." I'm like, wow. Anybody got a rusty foot? I'm just kidding. I gonna stab you, Tim.
I deserve all that,
You know my name is Derek, right, dude? I'm just gonna throw it out there. You know my name is Derek. I work here. I drive like 60 miles every day to come to be here.
Please forgive me, bro.
You know who I am? Am I seen? You know? Do you know me? I feel hurt and love sometimes.
Oh, Derek.
Oh, my
Derek.
stomach.
Oh,
God. Lord have mercy.
Oh my gosh.
Man, please forgive me. When Derek comes back from vacation.
He doubled down.
When Derek comes back from vacation.
Right now.
Oh,
Okay.
I love
Okay.
how Jasmine's just chilling with us.
Yes, I'm so sorry, Jazz. I'm just keeping you on here for this, but this is we're so random.
Dude looked me in the eye and called me Hector again.
It was really funny.
Oh my god, it got me snorting. Okay, I love you, Jazz.
Thank you. Love you too.
When you come to Dallas, holla at your boy.
Yeah, pull up.
Yes, please.
Okay, we love you so much.
We
We're
love you
praying
so
for you.
much.
Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate that. God bless you, and God continue to breathe into whatever you do. So, because
Thank you.
with God's breath, He formed things. So you don't know what He's going.
Amen.
So
We receive
thank
all
you.
that. Hey, who
Amen.
is your coach on
Her
Bomb?
name Yvette Bethea.
Yeah.
I did
her.
spiritual abuse with what was her name? Damn, her name completely. Oh, Narisha Liggins.
Okay, great.
We did like spiritual abuse church work, like group setting, and then
Great.
I transitioned into Yvette for.
Yep.
Oh man, I love what they're doing. And Jenna, when she mentioned about the whole like therapy and the ART, that's new to me too.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I want to dumpster dive into that.
Oh, for sure.
Not because it'll like shorten the process, but to me, I'm like, I want to like I want to be part of whatever the Lord
Me too.
put on her to do. So
Yeah, me too.
thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Okay, we love you, Jazz. Have a great day. Okay.
Thank you. Same to you.
All right.
God
Bye.
bless.
Bye.
Wow. Okay. So if anybody, listen, if you need therapy, you can't get in with anybody, please go to the Balm Counseling
Yes.
Center. Like go to upsettheworld.com and
Do
then
it.
get to the Balm Counseling Center. Like Juliet has made a massive platform for both mentorship and for counseling. Two totally different things. If you need mentorship, if you need somebody to walk with you through your life in a certain season, whether you're a single parent, even if it's something for your kids, maybe you need your kids to be plugged into something. You need help with your finances. You need you're a pastor and you're trying to not be the type of pastor that these two callers called in about today. Like, we just encourage you, go to upsettheworld.com, either go into Mentor You or go into Balm Counseling Center. We created it to you. You have no excuse. You literally have no excuse. We'll make sure all the links are in there for you.
Already in there.
So get in there, get up in that thing,
Get in that thing. Man.
and let God use you.
Amen.
Let him use you. Let him use you.
And I
The
love
chat is
Anisha.
saying I need to start wearing a name tag.
Yo, I'm weak.
They were like, I got
Hi, my name is. You need the
Yeah.
little sticker on there, dude.
They were
That's
like,
weak.
Derek got a red light, got a ticket this morning for us, and he still can't.
I'm gonna go to Office Depot
The chat is killing it
and
right
get
now.
name.
That's so
tags.
funny. The officer came back with Derek's ticket, and it was issued out to Herrick.
Hector.
Said Herrick.
Safe.
Safe. I don't have to go in. This ticket belongs to Herrick.
Oh my god.
All right, it's 12:02.
Hey,
Bye bye.
so we're not
He
being on here.
said bye-bye.
we're not here on Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah, we're not here on Monday or Tuesday because life and travel and all that kind of stuff. But listen, y'all, I want you to know this is like the last of this type of stuff. I'm committed to this work more than I'm committed to traveling, speaking, preaching at other conferences. I'm committed to this work. I make a lot of money traveling. I had Eunice cancel. These are Monday and Tuesday. Those are just the way the travel days are set up. I can't. That's the only reason why I can't do the show. I can't be New York and here at the same time, and there's a time difference, and it's a 3-hour flight, and like right.
Right.
But I have literally changed my entire calendar so that I can do this Monday through Friday. Like, this is my focus, my love, my joy. I get energized by doing this. I feel life doing this. And so it's not that I'll never preach anywhere again. It's just that it is not my first priority. My first priority is this, and if people want me weekday, they probably will never get me. They just won't. I got a show to do.
Thank you for that, Tim.
Yeah, like, whoa, can we? I got a show to do. I don't know what to tell you. I got a show to do. I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say to you. So I'm very much I'm at peace with that.
Yeah.
I really am. And God shall supply all of my needs according to his riches and glory.
Amen.
So anyway, now it's 12:04. You hear this music. You hear this music. It's been a really lovely day. It's been a lovely week. Ladies and gentlemen, I have been Timothy Charles Ross. I assure you that this is Derek Israel Santiago. I assure you of that. And that is Barbara Christina
Not the white name.
Sanders
Barbara Christina Sanders.
and Baby Rodriguez.
Not a white name and
What
then
in the
a
world?
Hispanic baby name.
You're a surrogate mom.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You're carrying a baby for somebody
Oh my
else,
gosh, I have
Barbara.
to pee. I can't
Oh
with
my
you.
God. You gotta go pee?
I gotta go pee.
Okay, all right. We better
I was
go before you
laughing.
walk in front of the camera. All right, bye, y'all.
Bye.